Hey, Patriots fans, if you want to see Toyota's best offers, including those not seen on TV, go to buyatoyota.com. It's Toyota's official website for deals from the official vehicle of the New England Patriots. Toyota, let's go Christmas shopping.
Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
Paul and I always love that when there was a story that goes beyond the gridiron. Channel 5 would say, well, we can't just send our sports. We have to send them.
Fred and I would sit in the back and we put our notebooks open. Let's learn something
and then
today.
the news guy
How
would
to
try
be a journalist.
Rhode Island is an underrated state for beaches.
It's kind of a beach, no?
Beaches,
It's the oceans.
they think swimmable.
But just the views.
Rhode Island is
wouldn't there be a lighthouse
significantly
in the
warmer.
They're too cold. Or sometimes there's too many sharp things.
We went there.
There's no rocks in Rhode
Sea
Island.
urchins.
The water is warm in Rhode Island.
He lives in the Cape.
Sometimes we have to address Freddie-isms.
And this is not a shot. Like, I just...
Oh, it feels like a shot.
No, I just...
Oh,
like,
no, that's fine. You can take shots.
No, when I hear the word printer, I think of three letters, PDF. Yeah. They're really good, and you never have to print a thing.
Good for you, Evan.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots. I almost said PFW in progress. Yeah, Patriots Unfiltered. It is Thursday here at Gillette Stadium. We got a big show coming up. Look at Deuce in his vest. We got to get a picture of Deuce in his vest. He's what are you doing today?
He's going to the 7th grade.
Oh, it's very exciting. I've got 7th grade dance, and I got asked by somebody. No, I'm actually excited. I'm hosting a panel tonight on leadership with David Andrews. Know him a little bit, but Patrice Bergeron. So
Humble brag.
Oh.
very excited. Of course, Hockey Jesus, as he's known in these parts. 5-time Selke Award winner, 1-time Stanley Cup champion, and
Are you going to tell him that you played?
yeah, of course. Well, I was workshopping some jokes a little bit. I was like, between the three of us on stage here, we got 4 championships.
I was his audience, and I was like, that one, I don't know if it's going to
workshop that one a little Deuce. But no, I'm excited. Interesting tidbit, though. And, I mean, he was an alternate captain, so I'm going to call that a captain. But both Andrews and Patrice Bergeron became captains in their third seasons as professionals. And I mean, Patrice Bergeron was 21 years old when he became an assistant captain with the Patriots, with the Bruins. Yeah. So I'm excited we could tonight. That's why I look dapper.
Nobody can tell.
I saw you from afar this morning when I got in, and I was like, wow, Mike really took that emailer to heart yesterday.
Yeah.
Quarter zips be damned. I'm never
Who's
wearing.
a
I got him
schlub
wearing
now?
a sweater vest.
Who's
No more
slacking
hoodies.
now? It's Deuce, it's Alex, it's Evan, it's Paul, it's me, it's Matt in the booth, and we're talking Patriots. We got picks later.
Oh,
Yeah.
hurry up.
Yeah, we got to hurry. So what do we got today? We know we had Evan's practice report during last show, and pretty good attendance other than Ramondre. You'll be going out today.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Colder today than yesterday, I think, right?
This morning it was like in the 20s. I was like, oh, God.
You gonna grouse about it?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I need to get some good gloves.
Yeah.
Like heating ones, they gotta have gloves right now that you can turn
Oh,
on. I was
absolutely.
pitching them to Sailor. I was like, you got to be on the field all game. You got to get some heated
I saw
stuff.
something with you have jackets now that are
like
heated.
heaters in them.
I have one of those. Actually, it's a vest that heats up.
Yeah.
It was an old sponsor at Clintus.
Does it worry you? Clintus, a perk, huh?
Yeah.
Does it worry you wrapping up in electricity? There's something
little
about
bit.
that. We used to have
A little
electric
bit.
blankets.
Or like bringing it on a plane. We're
going
There
down
are
because of
men-
Evan's electric blanket.
There are men doing construction right now all day in this weather, and it's 15 minutes you're out there, Evan.
Right.
And
warm gloves.
They have the electric jacket.
I'm doing a
Keeps them
service.
I love Alex questioning his manhood.
It's not the first time.
Act like a man.
You can't walk that dog.
Yeah, you can't walk a Great Dane.
Evan couldn't have a Great Dane.
Whoa, boy,
I
whoa!
don't mansplain basketball to this kid.
All right.
Alex, who are you? We got a lot of emailers asking who's the girl. It's like,
Wow.
Really
have you
excited.
never
Have you
watched
really
a show
been not
before?
on that long?
My second show today. Really excited.
Welcome.
Twice
Happy
this
to be here.
Yeah.
Freddie, did we get food?
Oh, I don't think so.
No,
we
we
did.
didn't.
No.
Oh, where are you guys going to go? What are you thinking about?
Well,
You going to change it up today?
I asked you
or-
This
this
is behind the
yesterday,
curtain for
'cause
the
you-
listeners.
I went to Yelp.
You live close. Do you know of any places that we might be able to go?
Everybody's been talking about this new place. It's the hot, it's called Pizza Time. And maybe you guys should try it today.
Is it time with a Y?
Matt, I'll have a small pep. Thanks.
TYMEE.
Take my order.
He's
walked
going
away.
to
Say
take
it
us.
now.
He's answering calls.
He's busy.
Placing orders.
I will say,
Small cheese.
This is what happens when I get bogged down in work and I
what
forget about the
happened?
show.
We were worried about you.
yeah, I was wondering.
You didn't come in.
No, I know. I was running late though, so I figured you were already here.
Ev was already on because I knew they were doing Catch 22, and I was like, well, Michael, come in.
I figured you hit
And, and I'm just looking. I looked down. It's like 12:02.
I thought you might have been stuck in the no socks speed trap, which is you get stuck discussing the state of the team in the world with no socks right in that little
And
area.
you can't
you're
leave.
like,
Now you just can't leave.
I gotta go. I got a radio show.
No, I was actually working on something, but I just lost track of time.
Yeah.
And then Fred came in. He was talking to no socks, and I didn't really think anything of it. I figured Fred down there should have told me. That's like the 2-minute warning. He's getting ready to go do show prep.
You didn't see me leave?
I did. That's what I'm saying. That's my bad.
Okay.
All on me.
So what'd you drop about T-Swift yesterday? Were you
you got
telling the
aggregated.
fans you got aggregated, bro?
Was that real?
Paul Perillo drops insight.
No,
on Taylor
honestly, I
Swift.
saw
trying
this
to get
like-
that
No, no. I saw
Yeah,
that
it
at
was
6,
real. It was in the clips this morning.
Oh, I
6
I
o'clock
thought it
this
was
morning.
It was like one of the first headlines on the morning
I
clips.
thought it was a Photoshop deal.
No.
I was driving.
I
I
can
didn't
only
have
wish.
to Photoshop that.
I can only wish. I did. I got dubbed. But
So somebody at the Herald is listening for nuggets.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Taylor Swift moves the needle.
yeah, I mean,
Good to
all I
know.
did was basically the same stuff that we talked about on the show yesterday. I threw the stuff that Alex had mentioned about Sunday. I mentioned the thing that I had heard about Monday, that originally she'd inquired about Monday, but I didn't really get dubbed because I said that's what I said. You know, like
You were
didn't-
gonna get dubbed for Taylor Swift stuff?
No, I thought like to me it's not really news. I'm just saying basically my answer was I have a big fat maybe. I don't know if she's going to be there.
I think she's going to be here.
I said I think she might be, but I don't know for sure.
This is like when I went on the Sports Hub and they asked me about the Brady Week 1 thing, and I said I don't know, and they said Evan Lazar gives insight into Brady, and I was like, I said I didn't know. Like, is that it? And you open the article and it just says I don't know.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised that doesn't happen more with this show.
With our show, you
Yeah,
mean?
like people taking stuff that we said and report. Alex Francisco.
Nobody
Yeah.
can sit through 2 hours of this, Fred. That's
Yeah,
just too
it
long.
was from the hub. It was from the Sports Hub that I got dubbed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was from this show.
No,
his Felger
no,
Mass
that
hit.
would have been good.
They'd have better aggregations
But
from
see,
us.
I think
Yeah.
I have a theory. The reason
Stain
why they don't
prevention.
do it from this show is because they secretly don't want to say that
They
they
pretend.
listen.
They
Right,
pretend
there
that
you
they
go.
don't
Because
listen.
everybody listens, but they don't want to admit it.
They're not PU proud.
I don't listen to that. That's a team thing.
We're kind
I-
of like porn.
Well, we just sit around.
Everybody
like,
does it, but no one
Oh
wants
my
to
gosh,
admit it.
they're like 3-10, but they're good. Like they're just awesome. That's all it is, all day, every day.
Bunch of cheerleaders.
Right. Who do you think's the most awesomest Patriot?
Yeah. But like yesterday, we just happened to be talking about San Francisco, and somebody from San Francisco who's listening,
Right.
They got a Super Bowl too. Did you see that?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, San Fran did.
Coming up
In LA.
a few years.
Well,
is
they also
another one.
announced that
There's another one at SoFi.
we talked
coming
about
up,
it
too.
yesterday, but Brazil
Yeah.
in 2 years.
Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
I was talking to Martine about
did.
that before our open locker room yesterday, and he said that we're not as big in Brazil anymore, and
Oh.
but
the breakup.
along with
breakup.
obviously Brady not
Giselle.
being here, he equated a lot of it to Giselle.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and said that was a big reason why he felt that people in Brazil were Patriots fans.
Yeah.
So this
Sure.
break
Yeah.
is really a breakout.
Ugh. Well,
Yeah.
our kids are
Can we
still-
get those kids back together?
I know.
Oh no.
The people that were commenting yesterday on the show about us talking about beaches and printers, they're gonna love the open of this one.
Oh, yeah.
We're really
At least
talking-
this is
getting
football
down
adjacent.
to the X's and O's here.
Yeah.
Football adjacent.
They got enough of that for 2 hours. Evan.
okay.
You guys took care of that. Don't worry.
We did.
So let's turn our attention to the Kansas City Chiefs. And your roundtable came out today, Mike. Has everyone
excited.
answered that?
Yeah.
I do like
Yeah.
how you feel it necessary to share it
flex
with the
a
whole
little bit.
class.
Big reply all guy.
You're
What-
a big
what-
reply all guy.
You didn't like
I did think with
Oh, I didn't read it. I just
So,
saw that you replied.
I can't lie. I almost had the same Taylor Swift one as him. So when I saw his, I had to change my.
Oh,
vote.
really?
I really appreciated Fred's response to that.
Great
I didn't
minds.
read all of them yet, but I had to go to the last one, which was, describe your prediction for the game in a Taylor Swift song. And when I was writing the question, I was like, oh, man, this might be tough for Fred. Like, I imagine Alex is like, oh, my God, I finally can, categorize. I mean, me too. Like, I know. about
Alex
took me a while.
immediately sent out a
Took me a
text
minute.
chain. If you guys need help with this, just let me know. I have 7 options.
I thought she was going to be a
That's fake news.
paragraph of all
Well,
Taylor
what was
Swift
the
songs.
question?
song was the question was describe your prediction for the game using a Taylor Swift song,
Right.
and so Fred then stood up and said I had to go to Wikipedia for this one.
Yeah, I had no idea. The only thing I know
picked a great one.
is "Shake It Off," right?
Yeah.
I referenced my favorite Taylor Swift song.
Which one's? Oh yeah. I forget which one you said. Did I look at yours?
Trouble.
Trouble. Oh yeah. I liked Alex's. That was a good one.
That was a deep cut though, so
So we're gonna leave that. You have
Yeah.
to read
Yeah,
it.
you
gotta
have
read
to
it.
tune in
Mine's
tomorrow.
Mine's a deep cut though.
Yeah, I shouldn't have given mine away.
Yeah.
Read it for Alex.
right.
though.
I feel bad.
But one of
I
your
should
que-
have given mine some thought.
One of your questions,
blank
and we'll
space.
give this one away.
No,
is,
it's wildest dreams.
That's a
what
good
can
one,
the
too.
Patriots do? The Chiefs have had trouble lately. What can the Patriots do to?
trouble,
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. I think the Patriots have done a pretty good job, even before this year, of at least making these Chiefs games manageable.
Yeah.
Like they haven't gotten out of hand. And I think that's obviously because of the good defense,
Yeah, and I kind of want to lean on Paul with these ones because he'll break out the computer and you'll remember how all those games went. But I mean, just like looking back and my cloudy recollection of those games were, had a chance at the COVID game. I mean, those were weird circumstances, but I don't know. They went off in 2018 and it was a back and forth, and there's no way these Patriots can compete in that game. But at least holding the score down, and the N'Keal Harry thing in 2019 with the out of bounds, you felt like they were in it, and that's I feel like they'll be okay without Tyreek Hill. At least they'll be able to. Maybe they know what to do. I don't know if they'll be able to execute.
Yeah, somebody was saying, how can Mahomes, whine about that call when this happened in a game that they
Because those
played?
are the same.
But that was a touchdown. That N'Keal Harry
Correct.
play.
He would have been in the Hall of Fame if they
Correct.
ruled that right.
I think his career would have taken a whole different
I think the
trajectory.
Patriots would have. Oh no! Wait a minute. They wouldn't.
That was the one pivotal moment where everything changed.
That's where it all fell apart.
Yeah, I do enjoy the
Wasn't
meme.
that he had two left
Yeah.
feet?
The meme is funny,
butterfly
because people tongue in cheek say Hall of Fame career derailed on this. But yes, I do like
Some people
that
aren't
part of
tongue in cheek about it. Though. That's
Oh
the
no, I
problem.
like to give people more credit than that. Not much more, as you know.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think that. But the bigger thing, Fred, to me, there's really been only one game. Like all those games that the Patriots and Chiefs played, both teams were really good.
Yeah.
There's only one game that the Patriots weren't really good.
Yeah.
And it was like
It was
COVID,
26
crazy.
to
Hoyer making mistakes.
Yeah, I mean Hoyer is the reason why the Patriots had no chance.
Yeah.
No question.
But they
Like, if he
did
had
have a
played
chance in
reasonably
that
well-
game. And then
Well, not in the
it
second
fell
half.
apart. Right.
Yeah.
It fell apart.
Screwed
Yeah.
up right
After
before.
he
Yeah,
had
to
a
have a
sack
chance
and
when the
a-
game starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 0-0.
He's unbelievable.
No, I like this though. No, because
It's not unbelievable. Like I just, you just said, in the second half. I'm like, yeah. So they didn't have a chance to win the game.
They were in the
You
game.
didn't think Stiddy
No, they
was going to
weren't.
bring him back?
Yes, they were.
Well, but this is a question for you, Paul. I mean, in this, I mean this, totally real. Like, do you feel like they've had a good plan for Mahomes and been able to kind of do anything against him, or is it just
Yeah.
kind of circumstantial?
I think they're fine. I think their defense has been fine for a lot of years. I don't think the defense is the problem. I just don't think it's as good as everybody else does. That's all.
Yeah.
It sounds like Fred will get mad at me. And that's not. I think their defense has not been I mean, I guess you go back to 16, 17.
17 game.
Those
they got blown
the
out.
defense had no answers.
Oh, the opening game.
I
Yeah,
unlike
yeah.
most people, I don't forget those.
And that was
Hunt.
against
When
Alex
Alex Smith is putting 42
Yeah.
on you, I don't forget that.
Yeah, that was one of the worst defensive games of the Belichick era, just in terms of yards.
Oh,
and,
Kareem
and,
Hunt.
like,
I remember
points
him
and-
running like crazy.
Yeah.
I was at that one.
until the Super Bowl that year. That was the worst, I think, in terms of stats, the worst, most yards, most points, everything. But they've been good in halves.
Yeah,
against
I think the
Mahomes.
two
Yeah.
games in 18
Right?
were
That's a good way to
40-something and
put it.
30-something.
They were really good, in 18, and it seems to be first halves, so they have a good game plan, and then Reed and Mahomes
Kansas City adjusts.
and
Yeah,
then they because in 18 in the regular season, I think that they held him down. Remember, Dante Hightower had a pick, and they held him down relatively well in the first half, and then they erupted in the second half.
43-40.
If I'm not mistaken, I think both halves in those games they scored 30, and the Chiefs did in the second half of both games, and so it's really an adjustment adjustment thing, I think, between Belichick and
once they
and
figure
Reid.
out what the Patriots are doing.
So they played a lot. They play a lot of man coverage against the Chiefs, which most teams don't because they don't have the horses to hang in man coverage against them. But I think the Patriots are so worried about Kelsey against zone that they play a lot of man. And then in the second half of the AFC Championship game, every Patriots honk will tell you the pick plays and the legal pick plays down the field and all that stuff. But that's really kind of what got the Chiefs going, was that they started running a lot more rub routes and pick plays and things like that, and against man coverage, and that's what opened up the game in the fourth quarter. But that's not necessarily been the book on Mahomes on the whole. Like the Patriots version is, mostly man. And in 20, they played a lot of drop 8, like zone coverage against them, and were okay that way. But too high safety zone has really been like the kryptonite of this entire Chiefs offense, is split safety, deep safety zone, and make them check it down, make them matriculate it down the field. And that's been sort of was taken over the league, honestly, against the Chiefs and how to slow them down.
Yeah, just to compliment your point too, like just in hindsight of studying the defense over those years, like 2020 was like an anomaly for the Patriots. Like they just ran like one linebacker with Bentley. Like just when you look at like what they played and what they had and that whole year, so maybe that was part of it too.
2020, you think they adjusted the defense then because there were no fans and you could hear the calls and all that?
No, I just think they didn't have anybody to play. Like they just were. I mean, they were Tayshaun Bauer. I mean, they had practice squad guys. I mean, it was a mess. I
actually thought their game plan against the Chiefs in 2020, as shorthanded as they were personnel wise, not a lot of teams were playing drop 8 coverage, right? Like, so you rush 3 guys and you drop 8 into coverage, and that was sort of the first game that anybody had ever done that against Mahomes, and he was in the beginning of the game was kind of shaken by it. Like, I don't really think that. I think it worked for the Patriots for a while, and now a lot more teams do that. A lot more teams play.
What I think they've done
8.
really well against Mahomes is they've forced turnovers and not just picks. Like even in that game, I want to say they scored quickly. Then they were going down to score again, and Sammy Watkins got stripped.
I'm going to take your word for it.
In the red zone, I know that there was a game here, the N'Keal Harry game here. He threw a bad pick to Hightower on an RPO that I think that Bill just baffled Mahomes. He confused him and had Hightower in a spot that he wasn't expecting. So
is that 19 or 18?
Okay, maybe it was 18.
But
I thought it was 19, but you might be
regardless,
right. And I just feel like they've done a good job of turning the Chiefs over. Now this year, the Chiefs have just turned the ball over in every game. So, I mean, they're down with the Patriots in turnover margin.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's because of – I think it's because of the receivers. I think a lot of their turnovers have been the result of drop passes that have resulted in picks. But, I don't know if that's a defensive thing necessarily, but they've been able to take the ball away from Mahomes a little bit. And you steal possessions that way.
Yeah. Got just a quick good SID stat.
SID stats. Don't care for them.
2 things for the next gen that they sent out, but this will be the first game in NFL history with head coaches that have combined for 500-plus regular season wins or 600-plus total wins in their career entering the game. Kind of, just interesting little historical place.
That is an SID stat if I've ever heard one.
And you know what? Can I share one more thing from, so the NFL sends these out every week, the little package.
But what about on 1 o'clock games on Sunday in December?
That's a little bit too specific.
First time Patriots and Chiefs at 1 o'clock since 08.
Usually these are all next-gen stats, and, there's a lot of good stuff. Like, for example, Bailey Zappi has as many deep passing TDs in 23, 1 as Patrick Mahomes, 1. But the most interesting part to me was that they included Belichick, quote, saw a little bit of a Taylor Swift concert at Gillette Stadium in May, and this is hyperlinked to Patriots.com, called her performance in the rain pretty impressive. I've never seen them link to anything in my life, and they link to Taylor Swift and Patriots.com.
To Alex, right? Alex, did you write that?
Get those.
No,
I think this was a Veronica. I think
that.
this was a Veronica. So credit. I don't know if she wrote it, but
when Bill said that, you didn't write anything up on that?
I had to, but yeah, of course. Gotta
Yeah,
get the
so
clips.
maybe they linked to
that's
you.
your clip.
Or the video.
There you go.
These are my people. These are my people.
They're getting you clicks.
Isn't that cute? He has his own
that.
cult.
So Taylor Swift made the next gen
I will
stat
say
package.
so. I used to make those stat packs back. My
you must have
past
loved
life.
it. How
That's
did you
your
quit that
protege.
job? That
That
I
must have been
can't
your
believe you
dream.
left that job to do anything else.
in games in December at 1 p.m.
It was honestly
cover 2.
It was honestly
spreadsheets all day.
It was a dream come true. It really was.
Diving into spreadsheets.
The only reason why I left was to come cover the real dream, which was to cover the Patriots. But yeah, I used to make those stat packs and stuff like that. The Taylor Swift stuff, like we would have to be aware of stuff like that, like pop culture, like Tommy DeVito. Like for example, like we'd have to like add that to the stat pack somehow of like, you know, how many chicken cutlets did Tommy DeVito eat pregame.
Did everyone else at that job hate you because you were just like, yes, like they're gonna give us the package today, guys? And they're like, oh my god, this is the worst.
No, actually, they really liked me though because I would we would divvy up
you would
the
just
game.
do it all.
You were the only one that liked doing it.
No. We would
the smart kid in the group project.
we would divvy up the games every single week. Like there's a whole team of us, right?
Oh man.
And so like you divvy up the schedule, and they wouldn't even ask who wants the Patriots game. They would just give it to me because I could just do it without it, really looking anything up. It was so easy for me to do the Patriots game. So
just so you know, that's how I get in trouble.
Yeah. So they would just like be like, all right, well, so Evan has the Patriots game next, like like stuff like that.
That's
so
right, nerds.
Yeah.
Suck it. I'm doing them.
That was my
all
first job
strutting
out of
around.
college, and it was great.
Especially because they were, winning Super Bowls at the time, and they're like the best team.
And everybody like around, this is at NFL Network for people that aren't familiar, and everybody like in the newsroom would wear like jerseys and of their favorite teams. Like we were all fans, like very outwardly fans. So like you'd walk as a
data's coming from.
As a Patriots fan, like you'd walk with your chest this, right? Like I would walk in on Sundays with the Brady jersey on, and I'd be like,
Fred, he was destined.
Kiss
He was
the
destined
rings,
to hire
baby.
him.
Kiss the rings, like like it was like no one else could. You have a Bears fan over here, like fine, all right,
Loser, great team you got.
Cheaters.
What?
He's right. I mean, back in the day, like, we'd have conferences and stuff with the league, and you go in as a Patriot employee, and it's like, you're royalty.
Yeah.
Well,
now it's
Even those days, just as I used to say wearing like my Pats baseball hat to the airport was like my favorite flex because the TSA agents are like, screw New England. You're like,
well, especially like living in
So
LA, it's a lot
sorry.
of transplants,
How are
and
the
that was
Broncos?
the same kind of thing.
Yeah, so Greg Rosenthal, who does the Around the
Patriots
NFL
guy, too?
podcast, big Patriots fan too. So him and I would talk about the game.
Really, you can't tell from listening to his analysis.
And it was a lot of fun.
Well,
Those
it's a
are
little
fun
bit
years.
how I feel, Fred, maybe coming up for the combine when we might be the number 2 overall draft pick. So
Oh.
you walk in like, who are we gonna pick?
A lot
Who
of
we want?
flexing over the years at the combine. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
sure.
Now we're gonna get
Now-
to choose somebody really good. So it'll be fun. Usually you're staying away from like I mean, last year, honestly, I remember walking by Gonzalez and being like, I can't even invest in this right now because it's not. I didn't think at the time that there was any way that they were going to be able to get him.
I'm a little concerned though
Can't even
because
look.
last year I was at the I tried to ask Bryce Young a question about Bill O'Brien, and I went to the podium for Bryce Young. And the amount of people, it's like such a huge pack of people. But now we want to talk to those people because they might be Patriot. It's not about the coordinator. It's about Drake May is at the podium and like
we got to get up there.
Yeah, like you're
you
gonna
gotta
have to
get there early. Clean
We're gonna
up
have to get there
territory.
early and like camp out the night before.
What pick are
and,
you?
like-
You got no chance. Get back.
Yeah,
Get back.
I don't want you looking at the top 3 pick.
Times have changed.
Throw him in the bathroom.
We've been humbled.
All right, so what else do we need to talk about this game?
The defense, the Chiefs' defense.
Yeah.
I think that's how they run away
their
with it.
pressure
Yeah.
has, Chris Jones has always been a guy, but there's other guys now that are creating havoc for them.
Well, I think it's interesting how they're using Trent McDuffie. Just in hindsight, he was a guy that we were all kind of seeing Patriots-y, and Bill talking about just how they use him as almost kind of like Jonathan Jones before now he's become kind of a full outside corner, but somebody who could be on the outside, but then on third down they move him into the slot and he can be really effective on the blitzes. I mean, if Douglas is back, he'll probably draw some of McDuffie. I think Snead is having an underrated season. I mean, he's been really good for them too. So, is Parker able to get back and kind of occupy him a little bit? I think those are a couple matchups that I'm interested in.
No-name players in the secondary, but their stats are really, really good.
Yeah, Snead.
Yeah, they're
Pass,
really good.
pass defense is really, really strong.
Yeah, they're 5th in the league in DVOA against the pass, and they're really good disguise defense too. Like they do a bunch of different things. They throw a lot at you. They're really good at creating unblocked or like free runners to the quarterback with their blitz schemes. This is a really, really well coached defense, and Spagnuolo's had the Patriots number in the past at times, and he's a really good defensive coordinator. And I think when you look at ways that the Chiefs could kind of blow out the Patriots in this game. It's the Patriots not being able to move the ball offensively or turning the ball over like crazy because that Chiefs defense is legit.
I thought there were a couple, just some of the next-gen stuff that stood out to me, kind of the similarities between two of the defenses and differences. They're both second and third in dime, so when we were talking about that all year, they play a ton of dime and 29th and 30th in nickels. So they like the dime. 6th and 8th in man coverage, 25th and 27th in zone, so they're both man-heavy defenses. But where they kind of diverge is single high. Kansas City's 32nd in single high, and they're first in split safety. The Patriots are 30th in split safety and 8th in single high. So, some similarities, some differences, just how they kind of do it strategically.
Yeah,
and that's next gen, you said?
Yeah,
Or
this is the
PFF?
package.
Okay.
Yeah, the package that comes out.
they send us in. You get the email.
I highlight
I know. I
Yeah.
don't look at it.
I do my nerd work.
Yeah, it's
But,
cool.
but how do they like?
In fairness, I used to look at it
No,
until
but
we went
like, when you talk about single high or split safety, a lot of teams start out that way, and then it morphs
not how
into
you start,
something
it's
else.
how you finish.
I'm just wondering, like,
That's how you finish.
okay, it's how you finish.
This is out of context. This is going to be a weird.
Out of context, PFW in progress.
So,
sorry.
so
To
next
you.
gen actually, which is really cool. This is really nerdy, but this is really cool. They do pre-snap safety shell and post-snap safety shell, so you can go into the database and sort this exact
Do
thing.
they spin the dial?
And these numbers are what they play in the down, right? Like this is post-snap coverage shell.
All right.
Yeah.
But another part of this that I kind of put together now was like every player has a tracking device on them. I don't think I didn't really put it all together, but now that we have access to this stuff, and that's it's all like computerized. It's not like somebody sitting there like
and the stuff
like
that they publish is only a fraction of what they actually have.
I know the database that we play around with is awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, because the competition committee controls what they can release as a result of all these sensors. And by the way, there's not just sensors on the players. There's sensors in different places on the field too.
And
Do I have a sensor?
Is there a
Put some
sensor
in
in
the
the
refs.
ball?
Did you get a
Just
sensor?
put one in the ball
No.
so
Yeah,
that we can
I know.
mark it
But-
properly.
Like they don't release all the stuff they have because the competition committee hasn't approved it.
yeah.
I
mean, they're tracking wherever they are on the field,
Yeah.
how fast they're moving, when they're going, where
many
they're
steps
going.
they take.
Yeah, it's all.
They
It's
probably
all,
have like their heartbeat rate, their
Right.
They do.
glucose.
Yeah.
They have
I
that
believe it. I
health
believe it.
analytics, but they don't release that.
I would like to see at least what they're measuring. If you're
Yeah.
not going to give us the actual info, like I'd want to know
That
what the
might
technology
be.
does.
We might be able to find that out. But the cool thing I think too is like you can go into the database that Deuce and I have that I think that they're going to make available to the public as like a paid subscription.
Get
thing.
on it, people.
it's
Get
coming.
on it. If you like
And
football. Ooh.
so they have like a play page where it just has all this information about that individual play, and I'll look at like what they call the coverage, and the dots are like really really accurate. Like I only like every once in a while I'll find one where I'm like, it says quarters, but like I don't think this is quarters, but like 9 times out of 10 it's right. It's like really accurate.
that data must
it's
be
really
so
cool.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I
They
mean,
could do some-
it's probably my favorite job perk this year. That just
too.
the things that we've been able to expand
Yeah.
and watch,
But
and it's fun.
Evan's right. I know it's either going to be
Plus, it's
part
like
of
I got
NFL Plus.
Another reason why I'm a dinosaur.
It's either going to be part of NFL Plus or an enhanced NFL Plus where you can pay and get access to all this stuff.
Yeah.
But can you imagine when that happens? All the armchair.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they said
All
the
the-
How
same-
much worse than this
Yeah,
can
no,
it get?
I don't know. That's why I feel like
I
we've
don't
already
mean that for
crossed
you.
the
all,
bridge.
all
I
these
know.
cottage industry websites are going to pop up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
The page too that I really love is so each quarterback has like a profile page. So like when I'm doing game plan every single week, I can pull up the opposing quarterback, and it has all the splits of everything that they track. So like Mahomes' splits against cover 1 or versus cover 2, like it has it all like in one spot, and you can see the like side by side comparisons, which makes it like so much easier for people like me that are really getting into the nitty gritty of the matchups. I'm a great spokesperson for this.
Me too, man. I'm with you.
I should really.
I want to
pitch it for
start
the
a
league.
fund for Taylor Kyles at Clintus
him
to
an
make sure he
affiliate
gets
link.
it, because I feel like he would absolutely lose
I don't
his
wanna,
mind.
I don't want to blow up his spot, but I think he has a login from.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
okay.
Good for him.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just think it's not about like whether or not anybody's any good at it. That's why I said, like, I'm not. This is not
Yeah.
necessarily. I just feel like everybody does this now.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that was
And there's
when
a
all
niche.
22 initially became available to the public.
there's
this
a
was the
niche for
conversation.
people, and I
Yeah.
know that some people really, really like it. I just
Yeah.
that takes all the enjoyment
Yeah.
from the game.
I think
Hey,
that
right out for me.
The big thing for me is like, so I'll watch like the Packers Chiefs game, and I'll be like, oh, it seemed like the Packers played a lot of like cover 2 in this game, and then I can actually tangibly tell you how often they played cover 2. Whereas like otherwise I would have had to like do
You
that
just
by
gotta fly by the seat of your pants like me and Fred.
No,
otherwise
it works for you
I'd have to
guys.
do it by hand.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to,
Yeah.
and this saves me so much time because I don't have to do it by hand.
Alex,
like-
did you see the stuff about Porzingis and his points per possession
Oh,
and
jeez.
points in the post and I
It's
just
too
like
much sometimes.
like, just kill me if I need to watch the
But
game and
there,
think like
there are
that.
some
Yeah.
people who are doing an analysis that say that they watch every game twice.
That's what I heard. That's
Every
the
week.
new. That's the new thing.
Yeah,
You're
It's-
not going to
that's
get it all
amazing.
once.
How do you have time?
You're
for
like,
that?
all right, here we go. What do we got here? The
I
Giants.
pride myself
and
on never having watched
That's
the game
basically
twice.
the Giants and the Chargers with a backup quarterback. Round 2. Let's go. I got to
Yeah.
get it again.
I mean, imagine.
I
that.
think it is just
Time is
like
so
a warped
precious
mind.
too.
Yeah.
Like
But like in all seriousness, like that's what I like about football though, is that like there's so much going on that like you can watch it that way and you can have plenty to say, or you can, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty and that's your thing, then go for it. It's just I think there's just 22 guys on the field at all times, and
And
I
this
mean,
has been a
Paul's
commercial for
gift
the
is he can
NFL.
watch it and take it in.
I was
and
going to
have-
say, maybe
Well,
if I
it's
watched the
like-
game twice, I'd remember if it was 18 or 19
Well,
that
that's one
Hightower
of-
had that pick.
that's one of my favorite things. It's Tommy Heinsohn and Mike Gorman. They called their first game together. Mike had all his stack of stuff. Mike Gorman threw it off the balcony.
Did he
said,
really?
you don't
Threw
need
it off the
that.
balcony. You don't
And
need
he
it.
was like, we're going to watch the game and talk about what we see.
Yeah.
So Tommy had the stack.
No,
and Mike
Mike
Gorman
Gorman
had
did.
all
And
his
Tommy-
preparation, and
he
Tommy
threw
threw
it.
it
God
off
rest
the
his soul.
balcony.
Oh, when I see like Sosi
How
stuff,
many
like,
bourbons in was he?
4 or 5. But if Sosi's got, I mean,
Yeah.
he just those guys, the play-by-play. Like, and I'm like, how do you come up with some of these like stats and stuff? I mean, you have to constantly be talking, and of course, you need things to go to. But
Yeah.
everybody can watch it their own way and take what they want, and we talk about it.
No, you have to conform.
You have to do it
Paul
this
didn't break
way.
down the
Yeah.
film.
You have to
what
do
do
it
you know?
this way.
Nothing.
You don't even look at next gen.
But it's like, for example, like I mean, this year, like I'll just sit down and watch the third downs. Like that's usually what I do on Mondays. Is just the big down, and just look again, see what happened. What did you miss? Look, there's so many different. What Cole Strange do on this play? Those
If you get
things I
tied
enjoy.
up next week and you don't have time, just ask me.
No.
I'll tell you.
But Paul, in second quarter,
But
third down, what was Cole Strange doing?
Like, I'm an old guy. To me, it doesn't, enhance my enjoyment of the game at all to know.
Yeah.
What the splits were.
Sure.
Data
neither,
can
but
also-
I
it
but
can
I
just
get
be
why
so-
it does for some
It can
people.
be so manipulated though. Like you can add
Yeah.
any
That's the best
context
part.
you want to a number. You could
That's when it's
take the
my time
same
to
stat
shine.
and argue it both ways of the argument.
Yeah.
So it's just
Oh, yeah.
Which we
Right.
sometimes needs to do. So
But I think that like people like Paul, this is why I like working with Paul, is because like you see the forest, right? And like
Yeah.
you can see the big picture of a lot.
Intangibles.
Because like sometimes I'm so in the next gen that like I get lost about like what's the big picture stuff, and that
Little insight as to why we hired him.
Barth's the same way. Like that's why we're we have the podcast together, is because Barth is more of like he hates this stuff. He's like
really?
he's an old soul when it comes to
Oh,
this
really?
stuff.
I never would
Yeah.
have thought that.
Yeah, hates it.
opposites attract.
Hates it. Yeah.
really,
So
I didn't know that either.
So I get
No, he
into
sounds
all
like
this
he's
stuff.
really into all the analytics
No.
and metrics
More
and
college
whatnot.
No.
football. And
You know what bugs me about analytics, just as a little tangent? That every time it's a fourth down, now they have to tell you, the analytics say to go for it. It's like
Right.
going for it on fourth down or not is not analytics. It's
No.
like what the coach decides to do.
What's going on in the game at the time? Who's on the field? Who's healthy? Like all that
No,
stuff.
but I
is-
think like this stuff that you're breaking down, like Evan's saying that they're in splits, and then that's analytics. That's actual metric data of how teams play over the course of a season.
Yep.
Whether or not to go for it on fourth down is a coaching decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I understand that you can look at the percentages of success rate on fourth down, 4th and 3 or less or whatever, and then you can make that. But it bugs me the way the announcers automatically say, well, the analytics say to go for it.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
The
so that guy should be fired right now then, because the
one
analytics
I-
said to go for it.
The one I hate now is when you're down by 2 scores and
Oh,
you
and
go
you got to
for
go for 2 on the first score. Yeah.
I still don't get that.
And they always explain it like, and they know, of course, this is the thing to do now. So
well,
you know what
bugs
you need.
me? To steal Alex's phrase, they mansplain it to you. Like, this is why you're an
Right,
ignorant
right,
boob and
right.
don't understand it.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. Like Fred, I don't agree with it. There's a huge difference there.
But even something.
Now,
that's-
Vrabel did
right.
it Monday
Mansplain
night, and it
basketball.
worked to perfection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like a lot of the thing too, so when it comes to analytics, Barth is super anti-win probability. Anything that's predicting the future, he's hard out on. So like that's why he hates Brandon Staley, right? Is because Brandon Staley is a go for it on fourth down kind of guy. So he hates that kind of stuff. But like I try to do more of like the actual like EPA, DVOA, that type of stuff is not predictive. It's what's actually happened. It's a stat.
Yep.
But with the win probability stuff, it's like Fred's point. If you don't have a good play call to go for it on fourth down, then what difference does it make? Like if you don't have the right play call, if you don't have the personnel, if you don't have all these different things, like then it's not a good decision, even though the math tells you that it's a good decision.
There's just
to
the
go
fine
for it.
balance between
It's an in-the-moment
logic,
decision.
logic and intuition. You have
And
to
that
find the
analytic
balance.
data is generated off of the amount of teams that have gone for it on 4th and 3 or less and converted.
Yeah.
So if you go for a 4th and 2 from your opponent's 34-yard line in the second quarter and get it, is that the same as going for 4th and 2 on your own 11 up 4 with a minute left in the game?
Well, some
Like
some
your
models do
probability of
factor
getting that are
stuff
not
in.
the same.
Some models do factor in game situation
And
like
the
time
risk
left and things
involved,
like that.
like they'll just put the analytics up. Well, 4th and 3 or
Yeah,
less
I-
should go.
I love
Green light.
Yeah, I loved
go.
Evan's point. It was exactly what the one I was gonna make was just like we had a play call. We had a play we really liked there. Like you can't factor that. Like we didn't have the guy we usually run it to. Those kind of things.
I know you can't do it, but it would
Trubisky throws a
be
bomb.
an interesting experiment to have, one team assigned to only make decisions based on the stats, the analytics.
That's the Los Angeles Chargers.
Just a cold,
but that,
icy person.
They
up in the
have
booth.
to do it. It's
Go
just
for
a
it.
robot on the sideline.
It could be a robot. You could dress them up, put them in a hoodie.
But I do think that that's where analytics gets a bad name. Is because like there's a difference between DVOA and win probability based off of fourth down decision, right? Like DVOA is a number that's based off of what's happened in the games, tangibly, what's happened in the games. It's not predicting the future. Like I get why people don't like the stuff that predicts the future because you can never know.
No, I love TVO. I miss it. I miss football.
Win
Outsiders.
probability. Well, what if you have a bad coach? Then
Doesn't factor that in.
right.
Well, plus, everybody knows, like, in that situation, like, it's the last minute of the game, you're up, you need a first down to end the game. Yeah, obviously, if you get the first down, the game is over.
Yep.
But it's not like you lose if you punt and play defense like the Patriots did last week.
Yeah.
You don't lose if you don't get it, if you don't go for it, which is, to Evan's point, that's the win probability. Well, you decreased your win probability by passing up an opportunity to go for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
I don't understand I don't understand the go for 2 down 8 thing or whatever.
Well, there's two of them. There's
still don't get
when
that
you're
one.
down 14, so you get it to 8.
Right.
And that's what Vrabel did last week. And the thought process is that it's a 50-50 two-point conversion, so you're going to get one out of the two, which I think is highly, highly flawed.
Yep.
I don't think that every two-point conversion gives you a 50% chance of making it. And the other one that I think is even worse than that is when you get to within 9 and people want to go for 2 to make it 7 instead of 8, which I think leaves you 2 scores. At least the 14 one, you've cut it to 1 score. You've cut it to 8, so you're down 1 score.
Well, the one
If
for
you make it.
the 9
No,
Whether
either
you
way.
make it or not, you're
right,
down
right,
8.
right.
the 9 argument is that you're going to need the 2 points eventually anyways. So you're going for it now so that you have
Right.
what you need in the future.
Right. No, again, I
know
get
what you
it.
need.
But I
But
just highly disagree with it.
But Belichick has always said extend the game as long as you can.
Right.
Yeah.
So leave that 2 for the end instead of
Like the down 14, you get the first touchdown. You can sell me on that. I don't agree, but you can sell me on it. Because to me, just kick it, and if you really want to go for the win at the end, just go for the win.
Yeah.
Your chances of getting the 2-point conversion down 1 with 2 seconds left isn't any different.
Right, but the difference is that if you wait to the end of the game to go for 2 and you don't get it, it's game over.
that's it.
So.
Right. If you go for it earlier in the game, then you
And
might
you don't get it.
You still
have to get it at the end of the game,
But-
or the game is over.
Right, but-
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, it is changed because you still have like 4 minutes to make up for the fact that you didn't get it.
No. What I'm saying is you're down 14.
Yeah.
So you get to within 8, like
Right.
Vrabel did the other night. And his thought is, I'd rather go for 2 with 4 minutes left than with 30 seconds left.
Right.
To me, it doesn't change. You had to get them anyway. You had to get one of them anyway.
Right, and my point is that what the nerds would tell you is that it's better to know now that you didn't get it than to know when the game is over because you can't make up for it. Like if you have 4 minutes and you know that you're down 9 points because you didn't get the 2-point conversion, then you have time to
Right.
potentially.
But
still
now
win.
you need 2 possessions.
You've
Right.
intentionally grossly lessened your chance to win.
Right. You
By
need-
by doing the 9, not the 8. The 8's different
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's still 1 score.
Right.
But the 9, and like the Cowboys Cowboys did this a couple of years ago against the Falcons. Yes, Mike, it was a red
How
zone
the
day.
hell does he know that?
And he got away with it because they recovered the onside kick. The onside kick shouldn't have been a necessity in the game if he had just kicked an extra point.
It makes me wonder if all this stuff was out there in 2016 for 28-3. How, like, you know what I mean? What would they have been talking about? Because they only.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the analytics would have killed the first field goal.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, they
Killed it.
Yeah.
They definitely had the percentage chance to win at that time.
No,
Yeah.
but remember it was 28-3, and they drove down, and I want to say that they kicked a field goal first. Oh, did they get a touchdown first?
You'd think I remember with
Did they
the
make it
t-shirt
28
thing,
to
but I
10?
don't.
No, I think
No,
they kicked
it was
a field goal.
It was a field goal.
Yep.
And they would have killed that
Yeah.
field goal down 28.
What did they? I
When
mean,
are
I
you
remember
kicking a field goal.
I remember
for?
the 2-point to Amendola.
Yeah, they had two twos. They had to get
on the
two
shield
twos.
screen.
I think they
Yeah.
kicked two field goals.
That
I think
one
it was
was
28 to
close.
9,
Yeah.
right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's 28-9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got
But that's all they would have been talking about in the booth. Is like, well, should they be going for it here? They should have, all the.
Oh, the
things they would have
Amazon
put in.
AWS on the bottom
Yeah.
of the screen.
Yeah, right.
Win probability.
Amazon.
Yeah, that would have been a great
Services.
game to talk about all that. But, how do you factor in the other team making just one bad decision after another down the stretch?
Right.
You know?
I know. It's interesting if it would have affected them at all, or if they would have just done what they do anyway. I don't know.
All right, 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket hotline. Web radio at patriots.com is the email address. You got to hurry, so let's get our listeners involved. Patty's in Agawam. What's up, Patty?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, how
Hello,
are you?
Jerry.
Are you in a submarine? What are you doing?
I'm driving. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I had a couple quick questions, and I'll get off the air because I know you guys got to hurry. My first one is regarding Anthony Jennings. To me, he's probably, I think this year has been one of the top 4 defensive players, along with Jabril Peppers, Jawan Bentley, and Christian Barmore. And do you think, regardless of whether Bill's back or not, do you think he's one of the guys that they should just sort of prioritize signing after the season's over? And second question, a really good chance to win this.
Okay. All right, we're losing you. Anthony Jennings, priority signing?
I want to let Evan weigh in because he's been talking to everybody about Anthony Jennings.
Yeah, I'm gonna have something tomorrow on Anthony Jennings. I think he's obviously been one of their better players. I agree with that. I think the biggest thing talking to him yesterday in the locker room was his rookie season. He comes in, it's COVID, so he has no training camp, no OTAs really, and then they also are trying to work him off the ball and play inside linebacker. So Gerard Mayo owned it, I thought, yesterday when I asked him about Jennings, and just said, like, we had to figure it out as coaches first. Like, it wasn't anything that Anthony was doing wrong. We just had him playing the wrong position, and now that he's playing the position he should be, and I think a lot of the coaches are not surprised at all as to how well he's been playing. He just opportunity, position, all those types of things just haven't fallen his way in the first 3 years. But a lot of those guys too, Steve mentioned that like they felt like he played good football last year. Also, it just wasn't as much, in terms of snaps. So now that we're just kind of noticing him more because he's been playing more, and they've felt like this is kind of the guy they've had now for 2 years.
So having said that, priority signing?
If they're running this type of defense, then yeah.
That's a good point.
Absolutely. Like, I think that they're number one in the league in pretty much every major category against the run, yards per carry included. And if they're going to run this type of defense, I don't think it's a coincidence that Anthony Jennings is playing a lot more, and now all of a sudden they're the best run defense in the NFL. Yeah. I don't think that's a coincidence. So if they're running a Belichick set the edge, sturdy edge setters, then I think that he's a priority.
Do you think that he has any upside in the pass game as well?
That's the hard part, I think.
That is the hard part. He's statistically he's near the bottom of the league in a lot of like pressure metrics,
But is that just because of the situations that he's been put in?
I wonder. I thought about that too, because I think in a lot of ways they want him to keep the quarterback in the pocket. They're trying to get him to set the edge and keep the quarterback in the pocket and let Barmore, let Uche, let those guys handle pressuring the quarterback. So I think there's definitely something to be said for that. And he lines up mostly over the right tackle, which is righty quarterback, arm side for the quarterback. And I think a lot of it is just keep the quarterback in the pocket.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting for me is just the kind of the divergent paths that him and Josh Uche have taken. And I mean, when was the last time you heard anybody kind of excited about Josh Uche here. Like this year, I mean, it's a contract year for him. Last year, he was kind of getting this moment in the sun.
Off without Judon out there.
Like last year, he had this moment in the sun that I feel like Anthony Jennings is having right now. Anthony Jennings, just went to the podium today for the first time.
Strikes me as a good football player.
And what's so shocking to me, and I said this to Evan yesterday as we were talking about the off the ball stuff, was like, that's what he did at Alabama. Like, why? Why did you try to move him inside? Like, he's not an inside player. Like, he's always been. This is what he was
and
at
he's
Alabama.
He's a big physical dude,
right? Like,
to play in that much space off the ball.
So I think there's value in it. But it's interesting how you kind of play those two off of each other. And we said it since they were drafted. If you could combine the two, you'd probably have a superstar kind of a player. But what a tough decision to make with Uche, who brings definitely some value against the pass. It's a passing league, but Jennings is kind of a tough tone setting. You'd love to have him as like your third outside linebacker. And when you're playing a run-heavy team, you've got that in the bag that you can put him out there and he's going to take care of the edge. But I do think that just the lack of pass rush production is a concern, and that might scare some other teams off because, he's kind of specialized in that way.
Yeah, I think Uche's had some flashes of what we saw last year when he's had the opportunities. But when last year, as much as they weren't a great team last year either, they did play a lot of games with leads. And like when you play with leads in the fourth quarter, then that allows pass rushers to tee off and get after quarterbacks and things like that. And this year, I just feel like they haven't been in that position very often.
I think Uche also really, benefited from playing alongside Judon, who commands so much. Where Judon goes down, and we're all like, okay, what is this pass rush going to do? What's the linebacker situation going to look like? In the very first game that Judon was out, Anthony had a great game and really stepped up, and it was like kind of like his arrival in some ways.
Really good point. Yeah, I mean that affect the whole defense. And I mean, look, they're not.
Not to mention Uche.
I mean, they're 30th
this year
against the pass in EPA. So I mean, it's not like he's a part of this well-rounded defense. I mean. Yeah. Judon went out. They had to put a run stopper kind of in there. They've been better against the run. They've dropped off against the pass, and that's why going back to the conversation earlier this week of letting Judon go, like they got to get pass rush. They got to get pass rush this offseason.
Spee in Fresno. Back to the analytics thing. He says Mike dressing for the role of Eric today. Yeah, absolutely.
I got some good news about Eric.
Anyway, yeah, got himself a jobby.
Not quite yet, but he's in the mix. He's in the mix.
Anyway,
no.
Oh my God!
Come on!
I took a shot. It's Christmas.
Anyway, to Evan's comment earlier today, I don't understand why the league doesn't have sensors embedded in the ball's perimeter for spots, breaking down the plane and all that. They can afford any tech they want, like Cyclops, Hawkeye, and tennis. These seem to like no-brainer good ideas. If they're accurate enough, what am I missing?
Yeah, there should be one in the down markers, in the chains.
Well, do we know that
the pylons?
I know they don't use the technology, but do we know that the balls don't have sensors?
I don't know.
I mean, they could. They're just not using it.
I think they. I mean, when
I
you talk about the dots,
when
you talk about the dots, you see. I mean, the ball's there. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I think
the down markers to me are even more. Why they're not like lasers?
Yes.
So it's exactly 10 yards.
I want down markers with freaking laser beams.
We still have
the little
chain
pylon
games.
too. Like it would be so easy.
It's 2020. It's 2023, and we're still spotting the ball by our eyeballs with the chain game.
Right.
With an index card to see.
Now I don't know. And I've heard a lot of stuff about the chip and the ball. I'm not exactly sure how that works in terms of spotting the ball because it's going to spot where the ball is, not where the guy went down. So I'm not necessarily sure you're fixing the because I think the spotting of the ball is a major problem in the league.
Yeah. I think if you went back and cared enough to see how off it's probably 100 yards a game that they're really
I think you could make a correction on virtually every play.
And I mean, imagine if it was instantaneous too. Like the computers are just processing where the sensors are. A guy's got to run. Boom, he's out of bounds. Boom, it's.
But it's not telling you where the guy. Like the knee in the ball might not be in the same spot.
I feel like so it would have to be set up to a playback system where you have the play simultaneously. You can pause it right when the knee goes down and right where that play is paused.
Yeah. I think a computer could figure that out.
At the point,
yeah, but you're stopping the game to do it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
They don't want to slow the game down.
Robots are fast.
Now, all the rest of the stuff, you guys are exactly right. I don't know how you can have a chain that's 10 yards apart.
Because that's hard to get exact with a chain because you got
Imagine
the links.
That in this day and age,
it's
a chain.
so arbitrary.
L from Wisconsin, the fourth down thing that annoys me so much, it annoys me so much too, he said. It's only based on teams that did go for fourth down, which is then based on the coaches making a decision based on the game situation. Reminds me of the old joke in statistics, 100 people who had played Russian roulette were surveyed, and they all survived. Therefore, Russian roulette has a 100% survival rate.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of like the plane thing. They did the study in World War II when they found where the planes had all been shot, and they're like, those are the areas that have to be protected. And like, no, that's the areas that you can let go because these are the planes that came back. So the areas that aren't all shot up are the ones that need to be protected because those are the planes that aren't surviving. A little World War II there.
There we go.
You lost me.
I blacked out in the middle of
it. I get what you're saying. Let's go back to the Ace Ticket Hotline. Nick Baby Love's on the phone. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Hey, it's been a long struggle, Fred. So, very simply, I want to talk about Belichick, but let me just say, as usual, me and you have been around for 100 years.
At least.
Before everybody. This girl, Alex, here, is very articulate, an incredible choice.
Wow,
we just got her.
you.
She just started last week.
And this is coming from me.
And
you know
Nick knows talent.
Hey.
And the guy, Evan, had me on the previous show. I just happened to call in, and he's old school, but I mean, he's new school, but I'm old school, but the guy's very good. So 2 great choices, and obviously,
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
I love you, Fred, and I care very much about my man from Holy Cross. That's my town, Worcester.
Yep.
And of course, Paula's my paisan.
Right.
But basically, Fred, I'm pretty much heartbroken with Tom Curran and all this BS. Nobody knows this, but don't the Patriots, Jonathan, to everybody in the front office, don't they run it like the CIA, the Patriots office?
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why put all this garbage out when, and by the way, please keep Hardy. That's one of my best friends, you know what I mean? My very good friend also.
Yep. As long as he wants to stay, he's welcome here.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're in trouble in that one, I think.
Hardy's been incredible.
If he goes to the morning,
If he goes to the morning, I don't think we have much of a shot of keeping him. I'll have to find another king to make.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, so to just finish up, I don't want to go crazy or whatever, but as far as Belichick, isn't there a thing called loyalty? And I think people don't realize this. Mr. Kraft, the most important thing in his life is what's going on in Israel. So, Belichick, I mean, he just destroyed the Steelers season at Pittsburgh, and don't tell me the players ain't playing for him.
No,
he just doesn't have a lot of good players.
Yeah.
So, God bless you all.
All right.
Look at Fred. I love you. I'll talk to you off the air. Paul, I'll text you too.
All right, thanks, Nick. It's funny because I was Nick's an old timer. He's been around for a while.
Passion.
Yep.
A lot of passion.
And this morning I dropped my car off and I had somebody from the dealership give me a ride here. Old guy. Hey, what do you do over there? You tell him. So you think they're going to get rid of Belichick? And I'm like, yeah, I think this is the end. He says, no way. They'll never get rid of him. Are you kidding me? That'd be crazy.
Why'd you ask?
So there is that sentiment out there. It's unheard of to even think about it.
Yeah.
And I get it.
This is why I tell you, and I know you think it's my straw man, but there are definitely people that think it's not just that it's not going to happen, that it's crazy.
Yeah, I heard it
even
this morning.
suggest.
I heard it this morning.
There aren't a lot of jobs
Chad
out
Finn
there.
in the Globe mentioned that he
the TV critic thinks that they should hold on to the
he
football
wrote
coach.
his
But I
column
was thinking about I might have mentioned it yesterday about Bill and what might be going through his mind. If I was him, I'd be kind of excited because the world's my oyster right now. I can do anything I want. If I tell a network I want to work for you, they'll be, how much do you want? If I tell Mike Rabel or Paul Rabel, I'm sorry, that I want to be, how does commissioner of the PLL sound? How much do you want, Bill? If I go to college, I could be coaching at Navy. I mean, whatever I want to do, they're going to open the door. And I think that's an exciting place to be for a human being.
There's all this talk, too, about how it's the Crafts firing him. But every report I read, fire is never used. There's a myriad of reasons or various reasons. I don't know. I just come back to, these guys have worked together a long time.
It's the end of the season. I think we're going to mutually part ways. How do you, what, I just fired you, right?
You
Like
did,
like
but
Danny
also
Ainge.
if you're Bill,
Did he actually? What's going on
if you're
here?
Bill,
No, but
She
you
just
know what I
started
mean?
last week.
Like what is this parsing of words? They're going to find a way to mutually.
I
part
thought you were
ways.
going somewhere where I agree.
if you're Bill,
How much
do
of it
you
does
want
Bill
to
want?
sit through another
Yeah.
rebuild, or do you want to
Yeah.
go break Don Shula's record wherever you want?
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know what I
I
mean?
think
and
there's-
these guys have worked together a
that's
long time.
overlooked.
It's kind of like the Tom Belichick or the Tom Brady the Belichick Brady Rife. They worked together so long, like it just wasn't working anymore. They needed
if
fresh
Bill Belichick
faces.
comes out and says, "Yeah, it was time for me. I want to take this other opportunity." That's the best case scenario for Robert Kraft because that lets him off the hook.
Totally.
That lets him off.
But
the
I
hook.
do think there's an element of I wonder if Bill really wants to return here. I think he still wants to coach.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But
Me
I
too.
wonder if he's
I
hell
think he
bent on
wants that
having it
record.
be here.
Don
That-
Shula was not nice to him. I think it's probably a personal, and I don't blame him at
But
all.
then
I
you
would
hear
feel
the
same
people
way.
say, "Why would he ever want to leave? He's got his house in Nantucket, which is right,
he can
right
fly
over
to
there."
on a PJ.
I was going to say,
wherever
and more
he
money than he
wants.
could ever
That
possibly
man
spend
has
in
the
a
Wheels
lifetime.
Up app on
I
his
know.
phone.
That's-
Just fly
His
right
daughter's
in.
down the
The what?
street at Holy Cross.
Yeah.
I just think
That's still
that
here for. That's always going to be here, though.
It just stinks
Holy
because
cross.
like 8 and 9 last year wasn't good enough, but it's 8 and 9. They were competitive. Like they almost, they were one game out of the playoffs.
You
Like
have to sit through a quarterback development again, probably. Like
just
there's
being 3 and 10 just changes so much because if he had stumbled here, he probably needs like 2 more years to pass Shula. If he
At
had,
least.
Yeah.
3 years
Here?
maybe.
No,
Isn't he like 19 short?
I think he's 15 short, but
Yeah.
now let's assume that he doesn't win the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say he wins 2 more, so he's 13 short. You think he's getting 13 next year? That's like 2 more years.
Right, so 2 more years. But like my point being is that if they stumbled to Shula's record 8 and 9, 9 and 8, 8 and 9, 9 and 8,
Yeah,
like
that's-
I could live with keeping him for that because of what he's done for the organization, but you can't be 3 and 10. You just you can't have it bottom out. That's where it becomes that's why his job is being questioned is
Yeah.
because if they were just a middling team and he stumbled his way to Shula's record and then after he passed Shula he stepped down and retired, fine. But you can't be terrible.
That's the thing.
I
Just
worry
real
we're
quick,
gonna
Fred.
look
Like the
back
point
and
to me,
regret.
like I just think he is what he wants. This is what he wants to do. He wants to coach and control a football team. And I don't really see. I think that's that's his dream, and he's living it. And like, there's part of me, like you mentioned him coaching at Navy. Like I could still just see him going to some small school or like I'm not going to say high school, but like not maybe. Like that's just what he wants to do.
Can you
he just wants to
imagine if
coach
you were
football.
like some high school kid?
But Sharon's
some
coach just
ran-
resigned. So Bill, come on.
Some random. Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because they're
Are we on
bumping him
watch?
up. They're bumping him up. Oh, we are on watch for sure.
Oh, he's not
the,
happy,
the
right?
starting quarterback in waiting is, job might be a little tenuous
Oh
there.
boy.
They're gonna.
We'll keep that off air.
It's a different kind of offense. Now.
So, like, can you imagine just being like some random kid
Belichick
playing
pulls
for a
like
high
a
school,
Jim
and Bill
Calhoun.
Belichick comes in and he's like, I'd be interested in your job. I just want to coach.
That's all he
just
wants,
want the
right?
purity.
Don't
the
need the
purity
money.
of
Like,
football
like
coaching.
Calhoun coaching
right?
D3 basketball.
Plus, then he can win
yeah.
every game 13-10.
Love that.
He'll be happy.
I
about
love
it.
that for him.
James Pettigrew, the most
Fred doesn't wanna play, he just goes
interesting
right on.
Patriots fan in the world, says loyalty for Bill. Show Bill as much loyalty as Bill showed Tom.
Whoa.
Well, wait
So-
a second though, because I disagree with that. Because I think there was a lot of loyalty in letting him walk.
I think so too.
Well, I think that was a Robert decision.
Yeah.
and I
Right,
give
but-
Robert a
but
lot of credit
sure,
for
like,
that.
if you don't
I
wanna give
I totally agree with you on that.
That like there's a lot of loyalty in the fact that it was like you have earned the right to make this decision on your own merit. If you want to stay, we will obviously love to have you back. If you want to go, we understand. And he decided to go. And I'm not like saying that Brady made it like to say that negatively about Brady.
Yeah.
But I look at this Belichick situation and think it might go very
and I
similarly.
know, like, and Alex, you just brought up, like, you are afraid to look back with regret. And, I mean, there's always risk. There's a chance. And I look at, like, the Brady thing, and I kind of agree with the way Evan just put that. Do I wish that Brady finished his career? Absolutely. As a honk, as a season ticket holder long before I ever worked here, yes, I wish Tom Brady finished his career here. But he didn't want to, and they let him go. It doesn't bother me more that it unfolded the way it did. I think that there was a very logical way of looking at a guy that was approaching his mid-40s who wasn't going to be able to do it forever. He played 3 more years. They were kind of right. Now, he won a title, and that makes you look bad, and I get it. You have to live with that. But They knew he wasn't going to be the quarterback for another 10 years. Just like I know that Belichick is not going to coach somebody for another 10 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Right. So he might go somewhere and have some success.
Right.
But I got to live with that, and I got to say he's not the guy that's the future of my team.
Jessica in California, there's so much chatter about how Robert Kraft should show some loyalty for all that Bill Belichick has done for the Patriots. I think we can all agree we owe him a great deal of gratitude. But where was Bill's loyalty to Tom Brady for all he did for the franchise? Robert Kraft should show Bill the same loyalty that Bill showed Tom, which wasn't much at the end. As Taylor Swift says about karma, it's coming back around.
Anybody use that one?
No.
No. But, like, to that email,
I can't really do that.
Like, someone make the other side to me of how Bill didn't show because he didn't give him the contract that he wanted. Like,
Bill didn't want him. But that's fine. Like I said, you can disagree with it, but they weren't really wrong.
And they also I've pushed back on the whole that they weren't I feel like the biggest thing that they could have done in that situation was give him the choice, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like, not being loyal to Brady would have been to go scorched earth and try to franchise tag him or try to trade him or something like that, and they didn't do that.
No, I think Robert stepped in and said, if you want to go, we're going to let you go.
They showed a lot of respect.
And I think that's what he should do with Bill, too. I think that
I
to
agree.
me is showing loyalty.
And what would it have been like watching Tom Brady on that 2020 Patriots team? That would almost be like a punishment to him, I feel like.
12-4.
All right, we're going to take a break, as you can see.
Fred's Pizza.
Two pizzas,
Fred's
Fred.
Pizzas
Got
are here.
double pizzas.
We'll be right back after this. We got picks. Got to hurry.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
What's up, everybody? Bailey Zappi spoke with the media yesterday. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Yeah. How was the week like coming in after what you guys were able to accomplish in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it was good. It was nice to get a few days off, hang out with the family, or hang out with the fiance, the dogs, and everything. Watch football, but ready to get back at it. Ready to get ready for Sunday for the Chiefs.
When you reflect on what did you like about your performance and what do you think you can work on going forward from it?
Yeah, I think we started out fast. We always talk about starting fast as far as an offense, getting ahead early. We were able to do that. The first half and the second half, there were some things that I missed as far as reads and throws, and you look at the interception. That's something that I can prevent very easily, just checking it down to Zeke instead of forcing it. So there's always goods and bads, and there's things that I can look back on and hopefully fix this week and then going into the Chiefs game. Yeah, he's a great teammate. Of course, I was upset that he's not going to be here with us anymore, but I was also excited that he was getting an opportunity somewhere else. I believe he signed into the 53, so that's a great opportunity for him. And I texted him, I wished him all the best, and told him to stay in contact. And he's a great guy.
Billy, on this Thursday night game on DraftKings, Burton was expressing confidence to the college offensive coordinator that he would eventually be the starter here after your cut. What gave you that confidence to not go through to
Yeah, during that time, that was hard. But at that moment, getting cut, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. So it was mainly him just giving me confidence and just talking to him back and forth in a private, conversation. Just him telling me to get ready to go and, anything can happen. And, I just try to take it day by day. And from that point on, just, trying to get better every day. I know that's cliche to say, but just trying to get better.
How do you feel you've grown since the summer?
I think there's some things that I've grown as far as, the offensive terminology and the way we run the offense operation. I think there's things I can still learn from as far as that, getting to the ball, making the right checks, seeing the right, coverages, things like that. But, there's some things that, I felt like I've improved on, but, I've talked to OB every day on certain things that I need to still get better at. So it's always a learning process every day.
Speaking
Speaking of Coach Kitley, you and Patrick Mahomes have him in common, right?
Yes.
How often did Patrick Mahomes come up in coaching points for you when you were with him?
Yeah, he talked about Pat a lot. Pat. He's one of the, he's probably one of the top quarterbacks in the league, of course. And, Kitley was able to coach him whenever he was at Texas Tech. So there was always certain things that, I would mess up and be like, hey, Pat tried this, let's try that. And so it was awesome to have for him to coach a guy like that and to be able to kind of pick his brain on what Pat used to do and how Pat learned and what Pat used to like. So it was pretty sweet.
Have you picked Mahomes' brain at all? Have you contacted him at all?
No, I actually haven't been able to, actually go back and forth, talk football. I think we've met, through social media, but nothing crazy in person yet.
What's your overall impression of Mahomes as a quarterback?
He does a lot of great things. Plays. The main thing is the play's never over with him. He can sit in the pocket, make throws, and then if he's able to get out and start getting scramble mode, he can improv, with the best of them. So that's to me a great task for the defense. I know they're up for it, but he's probably one of the greatest, one of the best quarterbacks in our league right now. And it's it's pretty amazing to watch what he does, every game.
What was the extent of meeting him on social media? Like what
I think it was after our bowl game, and he just congrats or something like that. I don't think it was anything crazy. I think we just followed each other. I don't even think we texted, to be honest with you. I think we just followed, and I was like, hey, Pat Mahomes following me.
Where would you say that your self-belief and confidence comes from?
I guess that just comes from, just growing up and, going to only have one offer and just always having a chip on my shoulder to kind of prove to everybody that, I'm able to play quarterback in this league. I think as far as going into every game, I think it's just for the preparation and things you do throughout the week that can lead to that confidence going into the game. And, the coaches, teammates, they help out a lot as well.
Houston Baptist, right? Your first year there going as well. Then you rebounded it as a sophomore. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Billy, when you look at the second half film against the Steelers, what did you see that maybe they did or you did that it wasn't quite as productive as what you guys were able to do in the first half?
Yeah, I think, it kind of falls on me. I was missing a few throws. I wasn't sitting in the pocket as much as I was. In the first half, I was kind of getting antsy. That's things that I'm going to fix throughout this week. Pocket drills before and after practice and just trying to clean some of those things up. And it's nothing that, they're a great defense, but it's things that for us that we can fix moving into this week.
Bill, your numbers against the blitz are the last couple of weeks. Bill O'Brien mentioned Chief Blitz a lot. Obviously, they do. What kind of keys are there preparing for a blitz-happy defense on your end?
Yeah, just watching a lot of film, understanding, what they like to do. They do a lot of things, so I think a lot of it just comes down to the communication between me and DA and the offensive line, trying to get on the same page. As long as we're on the same page, everything will hopefully go well. But you're just trying to, believe in the offensive line that they're going to pick up the pressures, whatever they bring, and just being able to stand back there confidently and just, take care of the football and throw the open guys and let them make plays.
Some of your teammates talked about the command you had in the huddle. I know Ezekiel was one immediately after the game on Thursday. When you step into the huddle, what do you want your teammates to see in you, and what do you want them to sense or feel when you come out on the field?
Yeah, the biggest thing is, the confidence in the play in itself. Walking in there and, speaking confidently, speaking fluently of the play and making sure everybody's on the same page. And if everybody else sees that you're confident in the play, they're going to be confident in the play. And if all 11 guys are confident in that play, then, it's a high percentage that play is going to work. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, just right off the bat, walking in there, understanding what the alerts are, making sure everybody's on the same page, and, getting to the line and then restarting the communication as far as, mic points and, what plays we want to get to.
We're not especially. Have you listened to any since then in preparation for the game?
Okay, so you listen to the whole quote. I said I'm not a fan. So I used to be a fan because I'm a country guy. I listen to country music. She used to be country, so there was times where, of course, Taylor Swift country song came on. I listened to it. Now she's moved over to pop. I'm not a pop guy, so I'm a fan. I just don't listen to that type of music. So just clear that up in there.
Because of your criticism, you'd be nervous. It's sweet on Sunday.
No, I won't be nervous. It'd be pretty exciting to, of course, have her here. I know she loves, being here in Gillette. So, I'm sure that's exciting for her to come back here.
There was a famous moment when Joe Montana, during a Super Bowl drive, pointed to the crowd and said, "That's John Candy."
Yeah, wasn't that before his game-winning drive or something?
Yeah. So will you be in that situation and say, "Hey, look, there's Taylor Swift. Let's go out and do something"?
If the moment comes, I might. You never know.
Did you get any kind of negative feedback from what you said on the radio about Taylor that might have been misconstrued?
Not to my knowledge, but
Like you wanted to clear it up.
yeah, you gotta clear it up because you never know on social media. So I'm just making sure everybody understands I am a fan.
Sorry I started that.
No, you're good.
Trying to be funny.
I'm glad you asked so I can clear it all up.
Trying to be funny.
Oh, good. We cleared it up. We're good.
Why are you gonna be so mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that song. Sorry. Yes, exactly. George Strait. Yes, exactly.
Bailey, you mentioned David Andrews, and a little bit earlier reference to him. How much has he helped you in terms of your overall growth and development, particularly this season?
He's helped a lot. Of course, he's been in the league for, I think, 9 or 10 years now. So he's seen everything that you could possibly see as far as fronts, as far as pressures. So there's always things that I go up and ask him, like, hey, what are you looking for? If it's over front, under front, diamond front, what things are you kind of looking at? And just always picking his brain, always learning kind of the whole aspect of what the defense is trying to do against us. So it's awesome to pick his brain. And I know he's learned from other guys as far as, Dante Scarnecchia and Tom and all those guys. So there's things that he's learned that I've never, been taught. So just always picking his brain and just kind of seeing how he sees things and just trying to see the whole aspect of what, the defense is trying to do against our offense.
I thought it was interesting that Tavai used the phrase when talking about Matthew Slater that he never wants to let him down. I was wondering if there's any sort of maybe that same feeling there with you when it comes to working with a guy like David.
Yeah, 100%. He's been here for a while. He's won a lot. So for me as a young guy, I want to do everything I can to, help the team win as a whole and, not let everybody down. That's my goal, is to do my job and to go in there and try to help us win games.
And now, great moments in history.
No one was worse than Big Head.
You're right. He was. That's true. He was.
Big Head also didn't wait till the break.
Right. What he just
as soon as the food arrived,
Deep
he
throat
would
a
just
sub.
shut his microphone off, move it away, and start eating.
But seriously.
Yeah.
He'd be
would
done
just
before the break
eat
started.
a sub whole.
Yeah,
right.
just he'd actually be mid-sentence in an argument with Fred, and if the producer would come in with the food, he would stop what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yep. He would be arguing, passionately about something, and it would just drop everything, and Fred would be like, "Oh, you can't
we used
even
to have
finish your
the
thought."
producer go down because they'd have the media meal, so just make us a plate. So he'd come back with maybe 6 or 7 sandwiches, and the moment he put it down on the table,
Andy would
Big
take
Head
4
would
of them.
just boom, just jump on
High
it.
metabolism guy, huh? Just always eating.
Suck
Is he
that
always
bone
eating
dry.
kind of guy?
No, but he has
He's
to,
always eating, but he's
he has
always
to work
working
out a
out.
lot.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's
If he ever slows down in his workout, he's going to balloon. The rest of his body will catch up to his head.
That's another great moment from
It's a lot of dead.
Oh, are we ready to go back? I
didn't want to say anything.
I was waiting for the rejoin.
He gave it.
Oh.
He gave it one of these.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't want to jump in, but
I just hear the piano music, and I thought we were going to go into one of those great moments
another
of Patriots
great
Unfiltered. Bridgestone is the official tire of the New England Patriots and proud partner with Sullivan Tire, New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you. Let's see, who was this? Matt in Framingham.
No pithy
I don't want to
reefer.
be the bad guy, but a message for Nick. Belichick might have destroyed the Steelers season, but he also destroyed the Patriots season. It's time for a change, and it's time people like Nick to come to terms with it. Matt in Framingham.
Yeah.
But
Plus-
listen, I
plus
get
the
what Nick
Steelers
is
lost to
saying.
the Cardinals the
you
week
know,
before.
we owe a lot. We owe a lot
People
to
forget
Bill
that.
Belichick. We do.
We
We
do.
owe a lot to Bill Belichick.
Oh God, yes.
And I hope people are respectful.
it's hard. It never is going to. I mean, did anyone ever think? I mean, it'd be magical if it ended perfectly or on good terms with Brady. I mean, it kind of will, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just always kind of expect it to be a little
Alex
messy.
in Raleigh, North Carolina, hasn't received his poster, Matt. God damn it. Yep. So get on it.
Get on it.
Yeah. Samantha wants to know if I wear my Apple Watch upside down. I wear it on the other wrist, and that turns the crown upside down.
I love video.
I know. But
that would be weird. Like that's how you like to look at it. You're like, I just got to check the time real quick.
Another Alex, this is in Mount Holly. To Paul's point, I can live with the fact that Tom left and won a title elsewhere. It cemented his legacy as the greatest ever. With that said, if Bill were to leave, I also wouldn't be upset if he won a Super Bowl with a team like the Chargers or Dallas. Once again, it would shut the media up, particularly one Boston radio host who thinks he lost his fastball, and also cement his legacy as the greatest coach ever. I know for the Crafts and Patriots fans that would be hard to stomach, knowing we let two goats walk when they still had one left in the tank, but we all have to accept the reality we live in right now, which is what we won't ever replicate the last 25 years, and we have to move on and build a future and not live in the past. I also agree with Paul, F the analytics and kick the PAT.
Sure. I'm a big fan of going for two for the win at the end of regulation. I know a lot of people will tell you should never do that. Just play for overtime and extend the game. But I think there's a time and a place to do it.
There's been a handful of football games where that's happened. I saw a Holy Cross football game coaching against Jim Harbaugh when he was at the University of San Diego. But same thing, we're in overtime, and it was one of those situations, college overtime, where let's just go for two. We're going to win or lose it right here. I mean, you remember those games. It always stands out. It's exciting. And
yeah.
I think you always appreciate the coach. Like, let's just figure it out right now. I love it.
Will's in Cranston. What's up, Will? Oh, he's gone. Lines are down in Rhode Island. Eldridge is in North Carolina. What's up, Eldridge?
Hello, world's greatest podcast.
That's right.
What's up?
It might be those, but it's the greatest too, though.
Okay. That's
right.
I want everybody else. Tear the Band-Aid off. And I think they should give him much respect like they did Brady. And I'm still going to say that because I'm a Brady guy too. But if they gave him what he wanted, that one Super Bowl would have been with us, and those 2 years ago, sunset. Like I said, when they let him go. So they said that Bill thought he was too old. Back then, I said, do anybody think that Bill's getting too old? Nobody didn't say nothing. I still think it's the same way now. Getting too old. And that's all I have to say. Y'all have a good one.
You're too old. Kind of interesting, like what might happen depending on how this goes with the Tom Brady
I was thinking
thing
that.
in June.
Exactly,
I mean, it's hard to imagine
Does
a
he
Tom
show
Brady
up?
event without Bill Belichick, and if this were to end,
Right.
sourly, or he goes to it doesn't feel right to do that night without Bill.
I think he'd be here, but if that's
I think
the
just
way
for
it
the history,
unfolds,
just
I mean,
the
that's the
history
way
of
it
the game.
unfolds.
Yeah.
But I think he would be here.
I do
think-
too. Just history of the game and
absolutely.
his place in it, but.
And he's generally been pretty good in those situations.
That's where his time to shine,
on
right?
that stage, he shows you a little bit more of his personality. Now, that I don't know if that will change because it won't be quite the intimate gathering that the normal Hall of Fame ceremonies are.
It's going to be
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Marty in Reno, I tell Paul that the Patriots scored a touchdown, Brady to James White, to make it 28-9 and then missed the PAT.
Yeah, I was figuring that out in my mind, how they got to 16. Yeah, thank you for that. But after that, they kicked a field goal, correct?
I don't remember.
If you don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, probably Paul. This is
no,
your
9
job.
and 8 is 17.
Do your job.
28, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they must have gone to 28 to 12, right? Which is 16. Yeah. That field goal, they probably took some.
There's the guy I know, confidently pointing the finger.
I don't know why you had to mock me.
The human box score.
It's a stream of consciousness.
28 to 12, and that's 16.
I think it was 18 yards.
Is that not?
I think it was it.
Did I do bad math there? Because that's not my strong suit.
Well, that's when you
28 to
do
12,
these
it's
things and you're
16.
feeling it out, and you're like, I think that was like 16 to 8 there, and I'm like, sure, yep, I had no idea.
Because you just mocked me. You're like him. You learned it from watching him.
Jeff in Connecticut, obviously this isn't likely, but if the Patriots end up winning out the season and end with a record of 7-10, does that complicate the Kraft's decision to fire Belichick?
Yes.
I don't think it complicates their decision, but it certainly gives fuel to the people like, how could you ever get rid of him?
Right.
You know?
Well, there's still, I mean, you can always tack to like, well, why did it take so long to go to Zappy? And, but, I mean, I think the hard part is if Zappy really starts to play well and he starts to improve and you're like, whoa, he's actually showing us something we didn't know he had. I mean, like I said, there's flip sides to the coin, though. But just offensively, it's been so bad. If they start to play well, and it's like, well, maybe Bill could develop a quarterback. Those kind of things might come out. I think it's a long shot though for them to really explode like that.
I would have to see how the games unfold.
Yeah.
Before I even thought about.
But
changing,
what I'm saying, it could be, and
like
not a big chance, but.
Tyler in Providence, this offseason, if you could hire on a new coach and recruit a player from any sports TV show or movie, who would you bring on? My pick would be Ted Lasso at coach and Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State as a new leader of the defense. We would just need to keep him away from Paul's shiny shirt and Coke spoon.
Probably go Reg Dunlop. So he can play. Deep dive, anybody?
Oh, I got
I knew
it.
you'd get it.
I got you.
I knew you'd get it. Slap shot. No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Coach Nickerson from All the Right Moves.
I wouldn't pick.
Run the 6'2" stack monster.
Or what about your guy from Friday Night Lights?
Friday Night Lights, yeah. What is his
he'd
name?
be the ultimate.
That's who I would pick.
I didn't like Ted Lasso.
I
And
didn't
that
either.
probably
Thank
surprises
you,
people.
Thank you. It's not.
I'm just like, it's annoying.
It's
I don't
too
know. And I mean-
corny for it to be funny for
It
me.
got a little
Never
saccharine.
never saw
but
it,
I
not
thought it
once.
was well done.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
It's cute.
Is that
Yeah.
over now?
But
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. They just do 2 seasons.
I mean, he
I
went
think.
back to the States and started coaching youth soccer, right?
I never saw it.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting grumpy because I didn't
My
like
humor
that.
is too vulgar for
I didn't
that
really
show.
like the bear.
Oh, I liked.
I mean, like I was okay with it, but people.
Never saw that either.
You have to work in the trenches of a kitchen or as a waitress.
Well,
or
that's the
something
parts
to
I
really
love with it, but then, like the
appreciate that.
first 7 episodes or 8 episodes, it's just like, why is everyone just yelling at each other? Like, and they're like, this is amazing.
It took me back. PTSD
No,
from
I
that
love
show.
those parts. I mean, and we knew a lot of a couple chefs that are totally like that, and those are
Yep.
my favorite parts with him and the girl, and them trying to put the restaurant together. But it's like the brother and the mother and everybody yelling at each other constantly. It was just chaotic for me.
Jack says the balls do have sensors. However, it can't be used for the spot because you can't tell if the sensor is in the center of the ball or on either tip.
You got to put in the tip.
The tip of the ball could
Both
cross
tips.
the line, but the sensor may
Just-
not if
just
it's in the
in the
center.
tip.
Yeah.
No, you get it in the middle too, Paul.
So I
No,
don't know.
just the tip.
I don't know if that's true, but he's claiming that the balls do have sensors in them. I thought
I'm
heard
sure
that.
they
I think they
Yeah.
do, but I don't think that's a way that you can spot the ball. Like, just where the ball is isn't necessarily where the spot should be, is my point.
Right. There's a lot of variables. But just watching the dots, like the way that the little ball dot works, it's like it feels like it's in a ball. Like it just has that kind of trajectory of,
Cameron in Dallas. Hey, Fred, forgot to mention this earlier, but over the weekend, Bayern Munich played in Frankfurt and got absolutely destroyed 5-1. I only bring this up because you wore the Bayern shirt to the show in Frankfurt. Always love the show. Keep up the great work. Yeah.
That was a funny moment.
But they just beat Man U yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
All right. You did your research. You were trying to, win over the crowd there with your shirt.
No,
but
I
did it
wasn't.
not go
No,
over
no,
as
I
well?
was trying to cause controversy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. People if you're not in
They
Munich,
don't like
you
Bayern
hate them.
because
It's
the-
like the
yeah,
Patriots.
they're the Patriots
Like if
of
you're not a
Germany.
Patriot fan, if you're either a Patriot fan or you hate them. Doesn't matter, So, I wanted to cause a little.
Well,
yeah.
My wife liked how you looked in it, Fred. She thought you looked jacked. So.
Yeah. Well.
To which I really
It's
don't
true.
understand what she was looking at. But.
I got to see if I can find the exact quote from her. I had to text. I started dying laughing in the car, and I'm like, I have to text Paul and Fred right now.
Fred sniffing.
Chad in Atlanta. I hate to bring up old big head arguments,
Oh, boy.
but I used to be with you, Fred, where watching blowout games like the Jets that you knew the Patriots are going to win were way better than watching close games. However, I do have to admit that watching games these days, not knowing the outcome, have been a bit more enjoyable, even though I'm expecting a Patriots loss. What say you? No. And again, this applies only to the Patriots, but I enjoy Patriots blowing out other teams.
Me
Now,
too.
that's back when we were good. Now I just hope that we're competitive.
Yeah, like this is different because
Yeah.
you're 3-10.
Right.
Like I don't think anybody would say, "Well, I'd rather have this because every game I don't know what's going to happen." No, I'm saying you're good. I used to I remember and enjoyed the games that were hard, that they found a way to win at the end. And Andy and I would argue with Fred. Fred just wanted to win every game 52-0.
For the Patriots, I want to blow out all my
Like
opponents.
I learned more in like the Baltimore playoff game where they win 35-31 than I do say the Tim Tebow Broncos game.
Right.
Like give me the Baltimore game every time. Fred was like, no. I want and it's just a difference of opinion. I'm not saying that Fred's wrong.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a lot of fans like Fred that no, they blew out Tebow. That was great. Like to me, I'll watch the Baltimore game. That might be a game I'd watch twice, Mike.
Right.
Like 3 times.
And I
all 22.
my team, I want them to blow them out. All the other games,
like even
I'll
the other
take
night,
I'll take
Alex, the Celtics game the other night, that Cleveland game.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, where they're just.
No, I'll take that game any day. Like, I don't care if I beat the Wizards by 58 points. That doesn't tell me anything. They kind of didn't have their fastball at times the other night, and Cleveland was shooting lights out. It was hard. And they found a way to win the last 6 minutes and won a tough, hard-fought game.
I'm with you. Until I
That
have
was good.
like
That was a
issues
good win.
with my blood pressure down the road one day, like I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. I don't want
I'm
it to be
there.
close because I blew a 24-point third-quarter lead, which is what the Celtics also tend to have in their bag, as Evan likes to say. But that game was a good game, kind of start to finish. It was pretty close, and the Celtics outplayed them down the stretch. I like those over the 35-point blowouts any day.
Ryan from Athol won a contest back in November 22nd. Says he didn't get his shirt. He wasn't sure if he was supposed to get a shirt or a poster.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All the grievances.
He doesn't even know what he won. I'm going to take Matt's side on
No,
this one.
I've got the.
He doesn't know if it was a shirt or a poster.
I've got the email chain here that he won.
What a tattletale.
He got the answer was Stephen Gregory, and then congrats Ryan. Send me your address. He
Return
sent
the
you his
buffalo.
address.
Do we have any
Did he
trivia
send
today?
a size?
Yeah.
Why
What?
was there no trivia
No.
questions today?
They played Zappy. Zappy's interview. They didn't do a show within the show.
Has that broken
Halftime
down?
show.
The show within a show?
Matisse hasn't asked me to do it in quite a bit.
You can't do things that you can't sustain.
And I keep telling him I'm available
always
anytime
down.
you want.
Yeah.
And he never
It was a
asked me.
producer call today to play Zappy, not Matisse's fault.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
blame him anyway. How's that sound? Because you're never wrong, and you could kill me.
Let's see. Bart and Poland, one argument that people make when arguing for Purdy is that the other guys didn't look like him in that offense. While that's true, none of them had CMC on the team.
Okay.
McCaffrey. Well, Jimmy G had
Said
him
they
for
had
5 full
Mostert.
games. His stats in those 5 games, 1,284 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, 71% completion percentage, which for a 17-game season adds to a pace of huge. It's important in this conversation to remind that Purdy is the only Niners quarterback to have CMC for the whole of his run.
Okay.
I think he's a good player. I don't think he's an MVP player. That's, I mean,
I
Dennis
just
Purdy
want
stinks.
I just want
He's a good player.
I just want to take the really
Yeah.
the really controversial take of the guy playing quarterback that's throwing for 300 yards every week actually has something to do with the success. If you want to say that CMC has more, I would agree. If you want to say that Kittle has more, I would agree. Ayuk, Debo, I think they're all higher on the list of MVP candidates than the quarterback is. That said, when he doesn't play, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Okay.
I don't care if McCaffrey's in or not. Like, Mostert was there. Mostert has as many touchdowns as anybody right now.
Yeah.
For Miami. He played with Garoppolo, right?
Yep.
George and Virginia, 2 things. One is that Julian Edelman's podcast, Games with Names, recently uploaded a new episode with Gronk, and they discuss the 2014 season and the Colts game that year. Must listen if you're a Pats fan and if you hate the Colts. It's even more of a must listen. 2, I see Mike Danson sing to Evan's song, and I have a theory.
Yeah.
The rise in sneaky negative Deuce is directly attributed to Evan's thievery of his beloved jingle. I can see Deuce now. It's raining. Deuce has a glass of whiskey looking out the window, singing a slowed-down version of his original jingle with a solitary tear running down his face.
I mean,
You a whiskey guy?
there's nowhere I'd rather be right now than outside in the cold, taking track of who is there. So I am happily willing to give Evan the song. Maybe if Jill's listening, we can come up with a new song for me. I did enjoy. I never had a song before, and it was only one season that I had a song. So maybe we can figure something out.
The emails of people who didn't get their prizes is pouring in. So I won't go through all of them, but I don't know what's going on.
We might
back
have to
there.
have a conversation.
Only one
with the
person who has a
shipping courier.
legit Bart in Poland. His shirt came back to me ripped up. That's the
going
only
to
person that has a
Poland.
legit gripe.
ripped up.
Gavin Brown just wrote in, and Jacob wrote in. So
Oh, people are just
I don't-
piling on now. They're making it up. They're trying to make Matt look bad, but
Let's see. One more email, then we'll get to picks. Nakoti writes in, what do you think is more likely? Bill going to the Super Bowl in 3 years, staying with the team, or going to another team who has a hot seat coach and going to the Super Bowl in 1 year? What's more likely?
I mean, I hate to say it depends on the team, but if he went to Buffalo, I could see him going next year. If he stuck around and hit this draft out of the park and got a quarterback, then I might see this. If he went to Carolina, like I don't see him going, to the Super Bowl
I think
next
the
year.
one year with another team is more likely.
The right team, I think that would be likely.
All right, Evan.
Evan has returned from practice. Evan has returned from practice. Yeah, Evan has returned from practice. What was the move? Who wasn't there? What did he see?
Evan is showing up the roster.
Aaron hath rectified
Back to
the
normal.
situation.
Is right in the world
Wow.
again.
The grousing worked.
You guys have a lot of clout.
We have a lot of sway.
I mean,
we do. We
yeah.
have power.
Wow.
This is power right here.
Poor Jess.
They
You
were
had to go home
They were
last night and
complaining
reformat
yesterday
everything.
because the PR department changed the format, and lo and behold, it's back to the way they like it.
This is the way we like it because, like I said yesterday, we have this little. This is a numerical order for the roster.
So who fell on the sword? PR.
That's a good question. I
Probably
mean,
intern Alex.
Jess was the one that got confronted about it. Poor Jess, and then that kind of trickled up to Aaron, who I think is, sort of in charge of Jess.
Well, he's a little out of sorts these days.
These days?
Yeah. All right. So what's going on out there?
So a couple of updates from Patriots practice on Thursday. Still no Ramondre Stevenson, which isn't much of a surprise. No Trent Brown today. Trent Brown was missing. Ankle and hand injuries now on the injury report.
Well, it's a day that ends in day. So.
Well, it could be a veteran
It's funny
maintenance
how they all come
type
around to
of
my
day.
way of thinking.
And then number 3, and this one I know really kills Bill Belichick. Brendan Schooler missing from Patriots practice on Thursday.
Oh.
And we were talking a little bit about Brendan Schooler, a little grousing.
Grousing about Schooler.
Brendan Schooler, not really a great year for Brandon Schooler. He has 4 penalties in the kicking game this year. And somebody else, Chris Mason, mentioned that he's missed the second most tackles in the league on special teams this year.
Plus, I didn't care for his no shirt display in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I knew that. I would have bet anything that would have bothered you.
But do you know why? Do you know why I didn't care for it?
Because you are a psychotic?
No, because it wasn't cold enough. You pull that when it's freezing, and then you show. But it wasn't cold enough to pull that.
So you
off.
only make fun of other teams'
He's
players?
a California boy.
That do that?
California boy.
No,
Maybe it was cold to him.
James Harrison comes out and it's 0 degrees without a shirt, I'm scared.
Yeah.
When Brendan
It's funny,
Schooler
you used
comes
to make
out,
fun of him.
when Brendan Schooler comes out and it's 42 degrees, I'm like, you're an idiot.
Clip that one. Nobody ever really does it when it's like 95 degrees and super humid, right? Like you never go down to Jacksonville or Miami and see warm-ups and nobody's got shirts on.
When we were
see
in
Jude on in
Tennessee,
like a parka and sweatpants.
When we were in Tennessee for the preseason game, it was like 105 degrees out, and I did see a lot of players shirtless in warm-ups in that one, and I was just like, I mean, I don't blame you. Like it was
Plus,
super
if
hot.
I look like them, I'd never have a shirt on.
No.
But still,
it's a dream, Fred. It's a dream.
You pull the no shirt.
Some
in
people
warm-ups.
think you do look like
chubby
that.
guys like us.
That's literally not
Lane
possible
would
for
like
me.
to have a word.
Genetically not possible.
You pull the no shirt in warm-ups when it's absolutely freezing to show I don't care.
Right.
Not when it's 42.
Somebody did that on my freshman football team. And I'm like, you're going out without a shirt on? Whoa. Can't even imagine.
But it just goes to show that how the Patriots are in a bad place when Brendan Schooler not covering kicks well.
Yeah.
That's not a great
That's probably
sign.
why they got the new guy that they claimed.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
they
sure
had to really claim that guy.
Montgomery's out, and they got to fill
They
some
had to
holes.
make sure. Yeah.
All right, we gotta hurry. There's probably anything
my God,
else.
we're
that you
gonna
need
go
to
over.
tell
No, not
us?
anything
No.
important.
Okay.
Got a
pressure.
full slate of games this week.
We got a lot of picks to do. What happened last week, Paul?
A lot of carnage. Not good.
Every once in a while, there's a week that humbles everybody.
Yeah. And this was one of them. Paul, 7 and 8. Alex and Fred, 6 and 9.
Come on, Deuce.
Mike and Evan, 5 and 10. That's overall.
Ugh.
That's just winners. Bad week. With the spread, Paul 7 and 1. Alex 6 and 1. Mike and Evan 5 9 and 1, and Fred
Oh, Fred, you're diverting from your
4 10 and 1. So Alex maintains her lead. That's why she was here 2 days this week. 131 and 77, followed by Paul at 127 and 81. Still chasing 4 games. Evan and Fred 123 and 85. and Mike, 122 and 86.
All right, all right.
Where the real experts separate themselves. Paul with the spread, 105, 94, and 9. Now we've been 9 pushes, 9. Let's see, who's second? Alex, 101, 98, and 9. Evan, 97, 102, and 9. Fred, 95, 104, and 9. And Mike, 91, 108, and...
Yeesh.
Deuce, what's going on with
Noin?
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
How do you
Just
feel
a lot
about
going
this?
on. Indifferent.
Full slate, including tonight, and 3 games on Saturday, Fred.
Which is crazy because I have things to do on Saturday. I can't be watching TV.
Me too. I got to go look at lights.
I got to get my last bit of shopping done.
You watch the games in general when you can?
Of course I do.
Huh.
How do you think he gets his feel for the league?
I don't know, 95, 104, 9.
No, if it's
I don't
if the Patriots are having a bad season, I'm having a bad season. We're simpatico.
Yeah.
And especially when I pick against them and they win, karma
hell to
really
play.
bites me in the ass when that happens.
Karma?
Yep. 8:15 Prime Video tonight. The 5-8 Chargers are at the 5-8 Raiders. What's this guy, Stick? He's starting?
Easton
Stick.
Stick.
North Dakota State?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the
FCS
before
powerhouse.
Trey Lance.
The Bison.
Vegas by 3.
You like the Bison or the Jackrabbits?
Jackrabbits all the way.
South Dakota.
Yeah.
South Dakota.
Gotta hurry.
-3. I will take Las Vegas. I don't really know much about Easton Stick other than his name sounds like a hockey stick, and I'll go with Vegas.
I will also take Vegas both ways at home.
And doesn't Easton make bats?
Sure.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Metal, aluminum.
I think it works better with the hockey stick, Easton Stick.
Well, they call
his name.
sometimes they call it bat sticks.
Sure, you're right.
Twig.
You're absolutely right.
Hockey twig. Oh, that's Bergeron tonight.
Lacrosse, we were twigs. Like that stick is a twig. Yeah.
All right, we gotta hurry.
I'm going to take the Raiders in this game. Take them both ways. I just think backup quarterback, Chargers quit on their coach. Over.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm taking the Raiders. No Keenan Allen. They're starting to scurry.
Scurry.
I'll take Vegas.
Nice. I like that.
I will take the
Chips
Raiders
and
as
ducks and
well.
chicory.
Did you get that, Paul? Raiders?
No.
I take the Raiders. All right.
I'm entertaining
Scurry with a
Now
friend
we
on
go to Saturday, 1 o'clock on the NFL Network. In fact, all these Saturday games are on the NFL Network. 7-6 Vikings are at the 7-6 Bengals.
Yeah, I think Evan and I talked about the Saturday slate a little better than I think I gave it credit for yesterday. I think you're right. Cincinnati by 3.
3. I think Minnesota's making another quarterback
Nick
change.
Mullins.
Nick Mullins is in. Never quite fits his helmet for me. It's just a little bit too big of a head.
Another guy who the Niners offense didn't look the same
there
under.
You go. There you go. Nick Mullins. I will take Browning and Cincinnati at home. I will lay the points.
As will I. I don't like it though. I don't know.
I'm going to take the Bengals at home too, and I think they cover.
Yeah, I thought that the Browning thing might be a 1-week wonder, that Monday night game, and they did the same thing the next week against Indy. So I will take the Bengals.
I'm going to save my want-to pick for later on, and I'm going to have to pick the Bengals in this one. I hate doing that. First time I've done it all season, but I'm so behind that I need to pick right.
Make some moves.
I need to pick right. Here's where he tells you the reason I'm behind is.
It's on
Well,
purpose.
it's not his head. It's
That
his
is-
heart.
that
His
is
heart's
part-
got him
true.
behind.
That is part of it.
4:30 on NFL Network, 7-6 Steelers, whose season was ruined by Bill Belichick last week, against the 7-6 Colts.
Indy by 1.5.
Yeah, it sounds like Mike Tomlin getting some
lot of
some
turmoil
flack.
in
Yeah, I
it.
feel like
Ben
people are
Roethlisberger
turning on
coming
him a
out,
little bit,
saying the whole
tell
Steeler
Tamara.
thing is
no,
done.
I know that's why.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
not
she's
here
not
today.
here,
I don't know. Indianapolis just seems like they're kind of playing hard. They're willing to throw it up there and just try to make plays. So I'm going to go Indy at home. I'll lay that point for sure. 1.5.
Retweet. Indy.
Yep, I'm going with the group here. The Colts they're playing some good ball. The Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh, even though I think they stink. I think both teams stink. And I give a lot of credit to Shane Steichen for keeping it together with a backup quarterback and staying reasonably relevant. But I think this is one of those games that they, quote, supposed to win. And Pittsburgh.
So they won't.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, everybody's written them off. I think this is a game that they find a way.
I think Pittsburgh bounces back after this game. I think they almost bounced back in that last game. But I think they're pissed off. Things like I mentioned, Ben Roethlisberger saying that this whole Steeler culture is gone.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah.
From Ben Roethlisberger's point of view, that's probably a good thing.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to take the Steelers in this game. 8:15. The only way they could get Denver out of Denver is put it on Saturday.
There you go.
So the 7-6 Broncos are at the 9-4 Lions.
The suddenly reeling Lions by 4.
That's an interesting one. But I'm going to go with Detroit at home. Oh, I'm sorry. What was the
4?
4. I'm going to take the points though for Denver. I think it'll be close, but I think Detroit pulls it out.
Yeah, I think it's a get-right game for Detroit, but I think the Broncos cover too.
I like the Lions both ways in this game, but Jared Goff has not been playing good football for a while now, and I think that's really what's holding the Lions back. Is he turned the ball over a lot.
Is it giving you any pause on my boy Ben Johnson?
A little bit, but I want to see how he gets him out of it. Like if he can get him out of it, then that's a good.
Because I agree, that offense has looked very average for about a month.
He's been turning over the ball like crazy.
Yeah, I will take Detroit both ways as well, but yeah, definitely they're not playing well.
I'm going to fork this game. I'm going to have the Lions winning but not covering.
Fork who? What?
Oh, it's like you in a road. You come to a fork in the road.
Oh, okay.
And you say, okay, I'm going to go with the win, but
fork it.
I'll sue you.
Fork everybody.
All right, now we're on to Sunday when football should be played. 1 o'clock on Fox, the 6-7 Falcons are at the 1-12 Panthers.
Eek.
Atlanta by 3.
Who is watching this game?
Atlanta by 3. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish I could pick Carolina to try to make things interesting for that first overall pick. I just don't think it happens. I'm going to take Atlanta. I'll lay the points.
Yeah, Falcons.
I like the Falcons both ways as well. The Falcons have been at least competitive in every single game. Just looking back at their schedule, they haven't really lost a game by much at all year long. So I'm going to take the Falcons.
Yeah, me too. Just Bryce Young just not ready.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Falcons as well. 1 o'clock, Fox, 5-8 Bears are at the 8-5 Browns.
Cleveland by 3.
Ooh. Feels like a 1940s game. Anytime these two teams meet, I'm going to take Cleveland. I'll lay the points.
Chicago Cardinals against the Cleveland Rams.
There you go.
Who'd you take?
Cleveland. I'll lay the points, please.
Flacco again?
Yes. Flacco for the rest of the way, according to Stefanski.
Yeah, why not? Cleveland.
I'm going to take the Bears in this game. Upset. I think the Bears have really been playing well going back to that first Lions game that they should have won and they lost late. So they've really been playing well for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and I like the Bears.
Yeah, I agree about the Bears, but I do not bet against that Browns defense at home, and I will take Cleveland again.
That's exactly why I'm picking Cleveland as well. 1 o'clock on CBS, the 6-7 Buccaneers are at the 6-7 Packers.
Green Bay by 3.5.
Quick question: what do you think's better for the Patriots? If the Bears are like first overall and third, or like first overall and sixth? You know, like is it better if that second pick is lower or higher? Does it matter? I don't know. Just a thought I had.
What do you think?
I think that they want to come away from this draft with Marvin Harrison Jr., whether it's with a new quarterback or it's with Justin Fields.
He's the guy.
So I would say that probably them picking 1 and 3, if you're thinking the Patriots are going to take the quarterback, is probably a little bit better because they probably wouldn't want to trade out and like risk losing. I don't know.
Sorry for the aside. I will shoot. I'm going to take Tampa on the road. At Green Bay's been hard to get a beat on. They're good. They're not. I'm going to take Tampa with the upset, though. I will please receive the points. Is that a Fred? Receive the points?
Yes.
I will receive.
I am going to take the Packers. Both ways, I guess.
I guess.
Conviction.
There's a couple of these, I guess.
Can't believe we're all losing to her.
I don't know. Just throw a dart at it.
Talk your smack. Do it now.
I'm not talking smack. I'm 4 games behind you.
Kneel before the queen.
Anyways, I like the Packers in this game. Even though they lost last week, I thought Jordan Love played well in that game against the Giants, and I think that they're still feisty. So I like the Packers.
So I'm going to take Green Bay too. But I was laughing. There was a lot of wind, I guess, at MetLife last week, and it was affecting. And And Aikman was talking about it a little bit, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem at all for Jordan Love, who plays his home games at Lambeau.
Frozen tundra.
No concerns about the elements there. But I agree with Evan. I just think that Green Bay's better, and I think Jordan Love has played reasonably well. And I thought, on a night where they didn't have any offense, really no consistency, he put together a drive when he needed to and made a couple of big throws in the end zone. So I'll take the Pack.
I will take the Pack as well. 1 o'clock CBS, the 5-8 Jets are at the 9-4 Dolphins.
Miami by 8.5.
Ooh. Oh, that's fallen hard. That's a good number.
8.5, really? With all their injuries? That's a big number.
That's why it's down there.
Yeah.
I think it was double digits.
I can't do it with the Jets. I'm going to take Miami to win, but I think if I don't know what Tyreek's situation is immediately, but if he's limited, they've been different. I will take the points for the Jets, but I will take Miami to win.
I'm going to split it the same way how Mike just did.
Yeah, I'm surprised even.
Still 8.
It's a big number. I mean, the Dolphins are 3/5 of their offensive line is out. Tyreek Hill is out.
I believe all 5.
Are all 5 of them
They're
out?
down bad.
Or on the injury report or something?
They're either on IR or on the injury report.
Yeah. And obviously they lose Phillips a couple weeks ago. Like their injuries are a legit problem. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins to win, but I think the Jets keep this game close.
Yeah, me too. Too many injuries. It's Phillips, Holland, Baker, the whole line, Tyreek. I think they'll win the game because I don't think the Jets are good enough to duplicate that offense that they did last week, but I'll take the points.
Yeah, this is one where the Sharps either know something.
Oh, yeah, Waddle's hurt too.
Or they just flat out got it wrong. But I'm going with the Jets outright. The Jets pull off the upset.
Wow.
Dolphins are reeling. I think the Jets do it.
If the Dolphins go belly up again at this, Mike McDaniel starts hot every single year and then they flame out every single that becomes
and I'd
a
say
thing,
this
right?
would be way worse than last year because last year was because Tua got hurt.
Right.
This year, if Tua plays,
Yeah.
they should not be losing
And
to
a week
the
ago,
Jets
you
at
were the
home.
number one seed in the
They
in
should
the
not
AFC.
lose to Tennessee at home, and they should not lose to the Jets at home with Tua playing.
I just think about that.
Sunday, so you got me for the Jets both ways,
I do.
right?
Yeah.
Sunday at 1.
I thought you were picking straight this week, but
on Fox.
I guess I was wrong.
The 5-8 Giants are at the 6-7 Saints.
He just got it.
It landed.
This spread I thought was strange. New Orleans by 5.5.
Vegas loves New Orleans.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I feel like they're always either
It's a
favored
Kamara.
or low.
So you guys
number.
agree with me?
Kamara.
That's a kind of an
I don't
odd
know.
spread.
Or
The
they
Giants,
have the NFC Player of the Week.
Giants
on
have
the other
played pretty.
side.
I think the Giants have won 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to take New Orleans though at home, but I will take the points for the Giants to keep it close.
Yeah, I think DeVito's win streak comes to an end, but I don't know. They're kind of pesky. I think they cover.
My favorite clip of the week is a New York reporter asking Brian Dable if Tommy DeVito's first 4 games are anything like Tom Brady's first 4 games.
Oh, jeez.
And Brian Dable just interrupting him mid-question, being like, please stop. Please stop. I agree. I think that Tommy DeVito comes back down to earth and the Saints win this game, but I think the Giants cover that spread.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Giants both ways. And it's because I think the Giants' defense has played much better over the last month or
'cause
so.
you like
and-
Tommy DeVito.
No, I don't. I
It's the
kind
Italian
of.
bias.
And his agent.
I really don't like
Rarely
his
does an agent have an agent. Paul is his agent.
Yeah, I don't really like him.
You know,
Sean.
Assistant to the agent.
But I think the Giants' defense has played well, and the Saints' offense has been miserable. So I think it's a low-scoring game that fits right into the way the Giants want to play, and they find a way to win it at the end.
This is where the Sharps know something. Saints both ways.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sunday at 1, 7-6 Texans are at the 5-8 Titans.
Tennessee by 3. It's another spread that I thought was very odd.
So,
Well, recency bias for the Titans for you?
and I believe
I think the Titans stink.
I think Stroud
They're favored.
Concussion protocol. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not playing?
Well, he's in
Well,
concussion protocol, which
it's in the protocol.
Pretty good
Oh.
chance he doesn't play.
Well,
Yeah.
that explains the spread, though. So
Yeah,
that's-
I'm gonna go with my guy Vrabel and Will Levis.
Are you
Lay the point.
Are you like mad that
they won?
They won when finally the week that you didn't pick them.
No, I know that's how it works, Paul.
He loves Mike Vrabel.
It's unbelievable.
No, I love Derrick Henry. Is what I love.
Yeah, you love Mike
And Will
Vrabel.
Levis.
Mike Vrabel is one of your heroes.
Will Levi's played really well the other night.
Gotta hurry.
Okay,
Gotta hurry.
I'm gonna take the Titans both ways. Poor Will You guys have me messed up saying his last name.
Just call him Will Denham.
His ex-girlfriend, her poor Instagram comments are
man.
getting blown up by his stats
Yeah,
every
I
week
saw
because
that.
they broke up recently. So they're just
She had a golden ticket.
they're trying to rub it in her face. They're just
People are so.
You should start a website, NFLgirlfriends.com.
I should.
Yeah.
Him and her and Tamara
You'd be
would be
surprised
all
how
over
many
it.
scoops
I think it'd be
we get.
NFL Wags.
Wags.
NFLwags.com.
Wags.
That's technically the term. Yes.
Wag Central.
Who are you picking?
I did.
They picked Tennessee.
I'm gonna take Tennessee as well. Although I don't like Will Levis. Like, calm down. But other than that,
I didn't care for his comportment during the game.
God,
but
like
he
the
played well.
Like, I get it. You're a meathead. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to take Houston because I think Tennessee stinks. Damn it.
I'm going to take Houston as well. Sunday at 1.
Why do you get mad?
Because I wanted to be different than you.
I hate you.
Sunday at 1 on Fox, 8 and 5. Oh,
No, you got to skip over it.
we got to skip over that.
Crumble
Sorry to
up.
let the cat out of the bag there. 4:05. The 10-3 49ers are at the 3-10 Cardinals.
Niners by 12.5.
12.5.
Does anybody own anybody in this matchup? I'm assuming the Niners own the
I
Cardinals.
believe the Niners own that division.
Yeah.
I love that question. That's become a thing.
That is a thing. The NFC West is
They-
a thing.
They have owners.
Yeah. I'm going to get a little crazy here. I'm going to take San Francisco to win. That's a lot of points, though, and maybe Kyler Murray does some cool stuff. So I got to make some moves here, get out of the basement. I'll take the points for Arizona.
I'm gonna take San Francisco both ways.
I'm going to take San Francisco, but I'm also going to take the Cardinals to cover the points because Brock Purdy stinks.
It's like a hate pick.
Screw you, Paul. I will take the Niners both ways.
Niners both ways. 4:05 CBS. 4-9 Commanders are at the 6-7 Rams.
Lar by 6.5.
The Lar. Tough one. I'm going to take the Lar at home. I think Washington's fading. I'll lay the points.
I'll take the Lar too.
I am also going to take the Rams both ways. Matthew Stafford playing some really good football lately. Looks like the old Matthew Stafford. I think they're coming on a little bit.
Getting
Those Rams.
exciting.
He's playing.
You mean he can't make the playoffs?
It's almost like it's not a bad team when the starting quarterback is healthy.
Did you see
It's
that?
funny how that works.
Did you see
The
a
throw to
throwing
Cooper Kupp?
Disgusting.
Ridiculous. I'll take the Lar both ways as well.
I'm going to take the Rams both ways. Next one potentially could be a great one. 4:25 on Fox. The 10-3 Cowboys are at the 7-6 Bills.
So
Nobody
the 11th
circled
seed
the
in the AFC is favored over the number 2 seed in the NFC by
Wow.
2.
That's a good way to put it.
Wow.
Good framing, Paul. Good
Nice
framing.
job, Paul.
By 2.
That's one of those Felger facts.
Okay,
It's
there we
accurate,
go.
but it doesn't really tell any of the
Yeah, here we go. I'm taking Dallas. Give me the points.
I love Dak.
I'm taking Dallas too. I can't believe that. Buffalo's favored, but I guess big one over Kansas City will do it.
I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Cowboys are a different team at home than they are on the road. I think this is an outdoor game. I know everybody thinks I'm a Bills fan, so I'm just going to lean into it. If I was in the AFC playoff hunt, I'd be worried that the Bills catch fire.
If I were every other team in the AFC would be rooting heavily for the Cowboys in this game.
Because if the Bills make the playoffs and he gets hot, watch out.
And if they
watch out.
I have Buffalo too, I'm taking. If they do make the playoffs, that means that he got hot.
Yep.
And they're rolling into the playoffs.
Yep.
They could probably afford to maybe lose one of these last 4. They play Dallas, they play Miami. If they win 3 out of 4 and get to 10 wins, they might be in. But I agree with Evan.
That's crazy.
Like, I would not want to see them if I were anybody else in the AFC.
Because he's got the ability to just be the best player on the field any given day.
And he knows it.
And he can just do that. He can just mic drop
I think-
it, and then you're out.
And I think Dallas had a huge emotional win last week, and you know what I think of
Yeah.
Dallas, and that's kind of a situation.
Normally, I would be all over the Bills in this one, but if Dak Prescott is playing the way people say he is, and is truly an MVP candidate this year, he needs to prove it right here. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win this game. 8:20 on NBC. The 10-3 Ravens are at the 8-5 Jaguars.
Ravens by 3.
It's a good game for Sunday night. Hopefully we get home. We can watch the end of the Dallas-Buffalo game and then go right into Baltimore-Jacksonville.
Sounds like a plan, Michael.
I think I think Baltimore is the best team in the AFC. I think they prove it here. I will take them. I will lay the points.
Me too. Baltimore on the road.
Plus they got Malik, so they might promote him.
Oh,
they don't even have to. He's on the roster.
What'd you think of Harbaugh's comments
Yeah, I
about
thought
that?
it
By
was-
the way,
yeah.
not necessarily a quarterback.
No, same kind of thing the Patriots said. Yeah.
Interesting. I like the Ravens big in this game. I think Lamar Jackson's playing out of his mind right now. Love Lamar Jackson.
I'm
Great
taking
player.
Baltimore both ways. Also, if Trevor Lawrence were healthy, I would think about. I think the spread probably would be different too, but I'll take Baltimore both ways.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens as well. I think Harbaugh comes out and personally rolls right up on Trevor Lawrence's ankle before the game.
That's something he would do.
Monday night, 8:15 on ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes. The 10-3 Eagles are at the 6-7 Seahawks.
Philly by 4.
I'm going to go with the upset on this one. Just Seattle at home. I feel like it's kind of a tough spot for Philly. They're trying to figure it out a little bit. I'm just again trying to make up some ground here. I'm going to go for Seattle.
I'm going to take Philly both ways.
I'm going to take Philly both ways, but I don't like how Philly's playing.
Yeah.
If I was them, I'd be concerned, but I think Seattle's not very good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take Philly to win the game, but I will take the points because I agree with Evan. I don't think Philly's looked right.
I am going to take the Seahawks outright.
Is Drew Lock
I'm
quarterback
with
in this game?
Maybe.
Just letting y'all know.
Oh, is that right? It's
Well,
not
it
Geno?
doesn't matter.
I mean, they
to
did
me.
trade for him for a reason, Evan. So
Yeah, I think they both
Well,
stink. So
as a backup quarterback.
Oh, you got to give Geno his props.
I think he's been awful since like the first 6 or 7 games of last year.
He had a good year last year.
All right, we go back to 1 o'clock on Fox. The 8-5 Chiefs and Taylor Swift are at the 3-10 Patriots.
KC by 7.5.
Oh, I got 10.5. That's a nice number.
He teased it down.
I'm going to take the points for the Patriots. I have a feeling they're gonna play them tough. They're gonna make life difficult. I don't think that the Patriots have enough on offense with Zappe, and ultimately Mahomes and Kelsey will get it done. But I think it's a little bit close game. I'm gonna take. Oh gosh, now I got to do the math to make the number fit. I'm gonna take Kansas City 23, New England 18.
Oh. How did they get to 18?
I don't know.
Hey, one way or another.
I'm in last place, Evan. I mean, come on.
Right. Shouldn't trust you.
I agree. I think especially the defense will play really hard, especially if they think Bill's job is on the line. Kansas City wins. Patriots cover 31-20. 24. That's that checks out, right?
Well, I'm going to see me on a protest if this is what happens. But
Matt, are we really struggling with the math this
I
week?
am not a math
Are we
person.
good?
We're all writers here.
Are we good?
Letters, not numbers.
I think the Chiefs shake it off, and
you couldn't resist.
I couldn't. You're right. I couldn't. I was going to take the Patriots to cover in this game. I have 24-16 Patriots. So I guess if it's Chiefs, excuse me. So I guess if it's 7.5, then I'm taking the Chiefs to cover. I think the Patriots.
Do you want to change it to make the Patriots cover, or do you want to stick with 8
okay, I'll do
points?
24-17 so that they can cover. I think the Patriots make this competitive. It might be a backdoor cover, but I think it's going to be competitive, and they're going to hang in there against Kansas City. But ultimately, Kansas City's got much bigger aspirations, better quarterback. I think that they take care of business.
Yeah, I think Kansas City will get right. I think they're still maybe the team to beat in the AFC, and I think they have to figure out a way to get some consistency, and I think they'll come in a pretty angry team and
Well, I think they need to
make
calm
it right.
down, though.
No, I'm not talking about whining. I'm talking about how badly they're playing.
That's another reference.
Oh, sorry, I missed that one. I don't know
That's
the
all right,
calm
Paul.
down.
Shake it off,
I
shake
don't
it
know the calm down one. Which one is that?
You need to calm down.
Don't know that song.
I like
Never
the
heard
one
it in my
that's
life.
called Slut.
Me too. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I don't know the
That's a
calm
real
down
song?
one.
I don't
I
know.
need now.
It's a brand new
Slut.
one from the vault.
Oh,
It's
so that's
it's
why I don't
from
know.
the
Oh,
vault
Fred,
track.
going deep dive. Where did you get that on your Wikipedia?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
you
to
did.
look them up today.
Did you listen to it?
No.
It's a pretty good song.
That's going a step too
I don't
far.
think the Chiefs are out of the woods yet, though.
I
think
don't
they're-
either. Offensively, especially.
Fuck.
Can I make a pick?
I want to let Evan keep going. These are cracking
I
me
just
up.
want to let everyone know.
That one I got. The first one I didn't. I'd never
want-
heard that other song ever.
I just want to let everyone know I'm riding the Patriots from here on in for the rest of
In
the
your
season.
wildest dreams?
That was mine.
So
That was my headline.
We're back to December. I'm
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots to
This
win
is
the
bad.
game.
This is just bad now.
24-22. Patriots win.
Woo! Wow.
Yep.
I like that.
So I'm on the bandwagon.
There
We're
we
gonna
go.
ride out the end of the season.
You got Zappy Fever.
Yep.
Is that a song by
Draft pick be
Zappy
damned.
Fever.
All right, that's it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We got the pregame show at 10:45 on Sunday. Game, then the postgame show. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
The world's original podcast.